Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the massive Talladega. It's gotta be with the code somewhere.
Do, do
I
you,
apologize, everybody, but let's try that again. Welcome to the massive Talladega Super Speedway, right here on the Racers Elite Network. I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth alongside me. the one, the only Brandon Sanfilippo. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Racers Elite Network as we bring to you 500 miles around Talladega Super Speedway. Brandon, today we are going to see a lot of patience, a lot of single file racing, probably until the very end. What are your thoughts about today's race?
Yeah, I'd say it's going to be a marathon today. We got 20 cars out there lined up to start and finishing qualifying now. But like you said, it's a full length race. There's going to be some stamina that gets put to test here, and yeah, I think these cars are going to try to find a groove, just get single file, not push, not be too aggressive. It's a pretty familiar crowd, so I don't think you're going to see too much aggression early. But later on, these guys are going to be pushing for it.
Yeah, definitely. As we take a look here at the 78 machine of Richard Ode and his Martin Truex Jr.'s throwback paint scheme. Using up every inch of this racetrack that he can to better his current lap time. And that's going to put him 10th on the leaderboard. Sam Luber's down in that number 16 mellow yellow Chevrolet. We're waiting to see if he's going to be able to pull out in time. No, he's only got about a minute and a half left, so he should have already gone if he was going to get a run here today.
Yeah, long race, everything is impacted by the draft here. So some of these drivers see 20 cars. You got Kensley Smith, who's well known not to qualify, especially long super speedway races like this. Some guys, it's just their strategy. I think they want to hang out back and kind of react to how the other drivers are going to race early on.
Yeah, definitely. Kensley Smith is one of those drivers that, you never know how he's going to play it all out. And while we are waiting for this to finish up, let's go ahead and take a look here at your current point standings for the Racers Elite Premier Series. Kirby Wainscott's currently out front by a total of 2 points. And that's right in front of teammates Alex Teft and Andrew Teft, who's back 12 points. David Davis, he is sitting in that P4 position currently, with Cody Benelli in P5, Jonathan Stidham 6, Trevor Fettig, Rob Morris, Steven Luttrell, and Kensley Smith rounding out your top 10. And we are working oh, race number 9 of 30 this week. So we're almost a third of the way through the season, and your top 16 in points are the ones that are going to be running in the chase later on this year. So that's something that we're going to start to look forward to, and in just about 6 weeks or so, when we get to just about the halfway point in our season, because top 16, it's either you're going to be in or you're going to be out. But right now, we got our drivers starting to line up down on pit road. I'm sorry, down on the racetrack, I should say. And let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup for today's 500-mile race. Starting on the pole, the driver, that number 45 Toyota, Ryan Wart. He'll be joined by David Davis in that 777 Chevrolet. The number 10 of Kirby Wainscott in his Toyota is going to be joined by Alex Teft in his number 43 Toyota. Row number 3 is going to be the Sitco driver number 21, Robert Morris. He's going to be joined by the number 88 of Troy Thomas. Blake Viken in the number 18. He'll be joined by Eric Dodd in the number 87. Row number 5, Chris Lawrence in the 54 machine. He'll be joined by the 78 of Richard Ode. Terry Fennell in that number 15 machine. He'll be joined by the number 19 of Cody Benelli. Row 7, James Foster in his Mercantiz number 9. He'll be joined by Jonathan Stidham in his number 42 machine. Truth Hoke in his number 55 Chevrolet. He'll be joined by Sam Lubers in the number 16. The number 15 of Kensley Smith will be on the inside of row number 9, and he'll be joined by Shaco LLC driver Timothy Eisburn. Inside row number 10, you got Trevor Fetzig in the 7-Eleven machine, and he'll be joined by 57 of Aaron Roth. And that will be your starting lineup for today's event here at Talladega Super Speedway. And man, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely stoked and excited to get this thing underway. We're going to have a ball here today. So everybody...
Yeah, it's always good watching these drivers. I mean, they're just so... They know each other really well. Like we talked about last week, really aggressive when they need to be, but respectfully aggressive. They always leave the drivers enough room and so forth. So looking forward to a good show today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
good luck, everybody.
Just realized I forgot to turn my sound and everything off.
Good luck to all the drivers out there. Again, yeah, I'll be a pie in the sky today. Keep a close eye on everybody. So follow the rules, follow the law, and you will stay in control of your own race and destiny today. Good luck, everyone, and let's have some fun.
Let me go ahead and get rid of voice chat real quick, guys.
And the usual reminder, no switch lanes before the start-finish line.
All right. I got that set up. I'm ready to go.
Like these drivers are too. They're all on the track here, and it's always important to note super speedway racing, especially one full length, 188 laps today at Talladega. It's all about who these drivers are going to work with in the draft and their teammates and so forth.
Yeah, one driver that everybody's going to be keeping their eyes on is that Chicken Coop drivers. So it's going to be very interesting to see how well those drivers are going to get themselves all together. But we are green flag racing here at Talladega for the first lap of 188 laps. And right now, that outside lane is actually staying dead even with the inside lane at the moment. But Kirby Winscott did fade back just a tad there coming out of turn number 2. But he's going to start to make his way back up here towards the front to run side by side with Ryan Warp on the outside there. I'm sorry, on the inside.
Yeah, not uncommon to see them go double file on the start, especially to find some space there. But they're also seeing which lane's going to be faster earlier on, and they're going to make sure they remember that later in the race. So as you can see, that upper line now getting a really good push from Alex there, getting some speed. They're starting to generate some momentum. They're about 6 cars deep versus the bottom. They're tightly wound with 4. So, of course, obviously the number of cars in that line is going to help.
Yeah, definitely. As the drivers actually slide up the track there just a little bit.
And as I say that, what a run by the bottom line.
Oh, yeah. Now we're already looking to go 3 wide here on lap number 2. A little bit further on here in the back, but that did not work out very well. There's just not enough people to join them as of yet on that outside lane. So, you know, I think they're trying to push a little too early here. You know, I mean, we're only working lap number 2 of 188.
Yeah, Stidham's looking to push. For some reason, Stidham wants to get up there, so but nobody's going with him. Kensley says, I don't think so, not on lap 2. So, now he's going to go with him. Maybe some of these drivers just want to get in the front. They see in some cars do a little wiggly movement in front of them, and they're thinking, I don't want to be caught up in this wreck in front of me. So that's part of the reason you'll see some of these drivers be a little bit aggressive early to get in that front part to avoid any potential wrecks.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a very good possibility there as we do take a look here at Jonathan Stidham in that number 42 machine, trying to make something happen, but he's got that draft master behind him, Kensley Smith, in that red number 15 machine. So, I mean, he's got good company up top, so.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any better pusher out here than the number 15 at Kensley Smith. If you're running in the last few laps, the last 5 laps of the race, there's nobody more you want behind you than Kensley.
Yeah, eventually I want to run one of these restrictor plate races with Kensley, just so that I can get a feel and understanding of what it's like to draft with him. Because I bet you, because I mean, I've been on the service for 16 years, and I haven't raced with somebody on a restrictor plate like the likes of Kensley Smith. Oh, big wobble!
Oh, the
Big
19
stack
a
up.
little held up. Yeah. Yeah, the 42 of Stidham really wanted to go. Benelli got, I don't know, checked up there a little bit from what was
Oh,
going on in front of him.
David Davis, he's around here on the front straightaway, hard into the inside wall. He's going to come to a stop, but the caution will not come out. Let's take a look here, see what happened. He was the race leader. Just a bad push gone wrong and hard into that inside wall. As we go back live and catch up with the racing action, Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 KFC Toyota. He's taken over the race lead, and he's got that 45 machine of Ryan Warp behind him as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. And right behind them, they got that number 18 of Blake Viken.
Yeah, starting to single out a little bit more, but you still got that outside line generating some really good runs at times. So when you start to see that, these drivers don't always want to pop down single file because they feel like the runs are coming so they can gain some ground before they do that.
Exactly. And I mean, right now, we're seeing patience. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to see that with David Davis in that 777 machine as he hit the inside wall very hard on the exit turn 4. But I mean, as of right now, everybody they're not in a single file rotation at the moment. They're kind of all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, using up the whole track. Like we said earlier, just really looking for what part of the track is going to show up today because it's different. It depends on weather conditions, time of day, temperature, all those things, even wind direction and wind speed. So sometimes it's the top lane, sometimes it's the middle, sometimes it's the bottom. Right now, I think the most consistent line we're seeing is the bottom. As you can see, they're about 8 car lengths out there in front of the first place guy up top. So I think they're slowly making their way back and yeah, not too aggressive right now, just really smart racing where they're testing out the surface, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. As we ride on board here with James Foster in that number 9 machine for Run Over Racing. He's got Alex Teft in that 43 machine right behind him.
Yeah, I was going to say that number 9 has stayed right behind Kensley, so both of them have really worked well together to move up to the pack, and now they're leading that second lane. Let's see if they can get anything going. And Alex Teft is somebody that, is experienced and a good pusher and a good drafter, so he's someone you want in your line as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Now we'll get to see Kensley's pushing strategy here. Pushing, we might make it sound easy. It's not just staying on the throttle and pushing somebody. It's really a timing game because it's where you put.
We are back live.
Just, throttle on. It's really about timing because Kensley can let up on the throttle a little bit and he can get a run because of the car in front of him and pulling up on the draft. So it's managing your throttle so that you get the runs and you get the pushes at the right time on the exit of the turns. in the center of the back stretch, right before a turn. So it's really a game of timing and also learning the tendencies of the car in front of you, when they're straight, when they're not, when their car is unsettled. Some cars are okay with being pushed into turns and the entrance. Some drivers
Yep.
get really loose and wobbly when that happens. So there's a lot that really goes into pushing effectively.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I've done so many restrictor plate races, and you know, I still get concerned when I'm pushing a driver and they're like, push me in the corner, push me in the corner. I'm like, They're like, push me in the corner. And
Yeah,
Kensley Smith is like, good.
Yeah, some drivers just get a little too aggressive there and they want those positions and they think their car can handle it. But when you're the pusher behind them, you can see them getting loose sometimes in the rear end that they can't really see. So yeah, it's a gamble. But all said to that, I mean, you also have to now pay attention to your water oil temperature. You could overheat your motor and blow it. So that's something else you have to pay attention to when you're the second in line pushing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, here he comes. I mean, Kensley Smith started back in that 17th spot. We're working lap 11 here. He's already up to second pretty much. Kensley just, he knows how to get it done.
I can't tell if that number 9's trying to poke his head out there into that third lane to see if anybody will follow within, or he's just catching from there. So I'm going to watch that. You also have Stidham, 2 cars behind him, who's already shown that he's absolutely fine with going 3 wide right now. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. And give me one moment here, guys. I'm being told to refresh trading paints. So we're going to get these cars all refreshed here real quick. It's nothing like a little testing here at Talladega Super Speedway with their test cars out here, all painted white.
Put the fresh coat of paint on them here.
Yeah. I didn't like the scratches I saw on some of these cars, so I fixed them up for them.
Nothing like painting a car at 200 miles an hour.
Absolutely. All right.
Really nice line now on the bottom there. Everybody's straight. No one's discontent with their position on that bottom line. I think that's why we're seeing such good progression. Kensley's doing his best to push that 78, but not a lot of help behind him. So as you can see, the number 9 leaves about a 2-car length gap. That's really, really tough on the 15 to even generate enough momentum to push the 78. Someone's got to take that air off of his spoiler and get it in there, but they're making a little bit of ground, so if they could just get in a straight line, we could really see the full potential, bumper to bumper, full potential of this top line here.
Yeah, definitely. As you see Blake Beacon in that number 18 machine make his way to the top side, you know, he's looking to take over the race lead here. And, you know, I keep saying it every week. Blake Beacon in that number 18, he has a race win coming. And I think it's only going to be a matter of time for when that does happen.
Yeah, and we're getting word from the drivers. I believe it's Cody Benelli. He blinked out for about a half a lap, and at Talladega, that is huge. So if you're watching from home, that's basically when you're on the track, and then your car just disappears from the other drivers. And there's a chance the car's going to blink back in, and there's a chance they're just going to be disconnected. So it's nerve-wracking because you don't know where he's going to be when he blinks back in. He could be inside your car, and it causes your car to spin and everything. So it looks like they got it under control, but that was a scare for the cars in the back there.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know what happened, but when they were coming up on that 777 machine at David Davis, everybody just kind of like forgot what they were doing because they were like all over the track. Did you see that?
Yeah, they just, I don't think they really prepped for it, and some of them were just in line and didn't see that car coming up, so they just had to react to the car in front of them reacting quickly, kind of just a chain reaction there.
Yeah, that was really something out of these guys. As we see that back of the pack here, pretty much getting themselves single file minus Stidham. He's adamant about making that top line work.
Yeah, he really is. I think he just wants those extra positions right now. Um, but I mean, I'd say right now he knows better than to jump up there. Nobody's up there. Odds are nobody's going to jump with him. So I mean, you are where you are right now. Uh, once we come up on pits, obviously things will get shuffled. So I think these drivers are content.
Yeah, for sure. You know, this right here, this is something that we were expecting to see. You know, I'm surprised it took them this long to get there. But, you know, they're now single file throughout the entire field. And, you know, if they were wise, this is how they would run for the next, you know, 140 laps. And that would get them to just about 170 for the final 18 laps. And, you know, well, that's when they can really duke it out.
Yeah, speaking of duking it out, a lot of that does come on pit road, and I know they have about uh, somewhere around 20 laps of fuel left. So we're running 100% fuel, meaning it is on point with what the True Life next gen cars have. So they have
Yeah.
quite a bit of laps to go. They're going to get anywhere from about 30, 35 to 40 laps on fuel, and that just depends on if they're in the draft or not. So
Yep.
we got right around 20 laps to go for these cars.
Yeah, currently Blake Viken in that number 18. He's the one who's using up the most fuel at the moment because right now he's full throttle while everybody else, you know, except maybe Kirby Wayne Scott, you know, everybody else is running about 50% or so. But the first two drivers, they're pretty much running 100 to 75%.
Yeah, and that can make a big difference, especially down the road, because when you go into pit at super speedways, a lot of these drivers, they're not going to take tires, they're not going to waste it. The tires really don't have an effect on super speedway racing, especially at
Yeah.
Talladega. So the more fuel that they can have in their tanks when they enter pit road, that's the less fuel that they have to put into the tank, meaning their pit stop's going to be shorter. So the more fuel they can save, the shorter pit stop they're going to have, and then the better position they'll have coming out. So that's definitely a strategy of some of these drivers. You're going to see them; they're not going to want to lead. They're actually going to want to be in the draft, especially early on.
Oh yeah, I could not agree more with that. Single file. This is the kind of racing I love. Simply because, now hear me out. I like seeing this kind of racing only because, well, guess what? They're not going to be crashing.
Ain't nobody angry right now.
Exactly.
I think that's Alex Teff there, gotten a run, so he said he's going to poke his nose out there and see what he could get. And Kensley's going to go with him as well as that number 9. So we already got double file coming back to life here on the front stretch.
Oh, yeah. You know, Kensley Smith, you know, and Alex Teff, when they get together, especially here on super speedways, you know, they make it work.
Yeah, they've been racing together for a long time. They know each other's
Yeah.
tendencies. They have some chemistry. So always really good to have that. And it pays off at the end of the race with you got to make those split-second decisions, and you got to push even more than you have before. So I'm not surprised to see them do that, and I'm not surprised to see them make some positions here, even with 3 cars only on the outside.
Yeah. And the nine's just back there, just, you know, using their draft right there to help move him forward as well. But, man, let me tell you what. Kensley Smith, he does drive for Driving Extreme Inc., but when he doesn't have teammates, he knows that he can count on those chicken coop drivers. So just like that, he moved down in front of Trevor Fetzig there in the 7-Eleven machine, and he allowed Alex to come down with him. So, that not only helped him move forward a little bit, well, he brought Alex with him, and at the end of the day, that's the kind of collaboration that we see between Driving Extreme and Chicken Coop.
Yeah, absolutely. And super speedway racing, you have got to have at least one other car that you're working with because you'll get hung out to dry in a split second.
Yep.
Um, you know, these drivers will they're going to work with either their teammates or who they can talk to in voice chat and who they link up with at the beginning of the race. So you got to have people in a draft track, a draft race that you can work with. And obviously those two are working together and working well together.
Oh yeah, definitely. As we're pretty much back to single file throughout the field until you get to the back part of this field, right around where James Foster is in that number 9. Remember, Foster, he was actually just up there, with Alex Tefton and Kensley Smith. But when they moved down, he was not able to get down with him. So he fell back from that 10th spot all the way down to 16th.
Yeah, and you can sink like a rock. I mean, it's just once you get out of that draft and you don't have the support, man, your car is going backwards.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of the throttle, man. Their foot is on the throttle. They're just pushing way more air than anybody else.
Yeah. Well, while we are under this single file formation, back when I first started broadcasting here on Racers Elite, Brandon, your name was probably one of the toughest names for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I think most people pronounce it San Filippo when they see it.
Yep.
Which is understandable.
Oh yeah. And Andrew was like, it's San Filippo. Oh, okay. And
I respond to both though. I've learned that you just live by both.
Just go with it.
People.
Just go with it.
Sometimes it's just easier that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I actually thought about just saying Brandon San Philly, but I don't think people would like that very much. Man, just look at these drivers go. See, people think I'm weird when I get excited about this kind of race strategy right here, running single file. But, like, coming from a driver's standpoint, I'm content. I am comfortable right now.
Oh, 100%. Especially in a race that it's 188 laps. They're going to be in that driver's seat for about 3 hours. Like, you can't go, door to door in the entire 3 hours, paying attention to fuel, paying attention to temperatures, talking on the radio. 3 hours straight of that would be pretty intense, and that's even for in our true NASCAR Next Gen racers that will be racing later on today at Talladega. That's just a lot to do for 3 straight hours. So the drivers appreciate this more than anything, where they're content and they're just going to get to their pit stops. But pit stops, green flag pit stops, you're going to see a lot of drivers try to really go in there hot because you can make up seconds on somebody.
Alrighty then, let's go ahead and switch it back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I apologize deeply about that. I can't figure out exactly what's causing OBS to do what it does. And I mean, as you guys do see, this happen every single week. I can't seem to figure out the suspect of it. Uh, but you guys didn't miss a
Nevertheless,
thing. You guys didn't
I
miss
was
a
gonna
thing.
say we're right back about where you were when you left. Still single file, still pushing. Kensley's trying to get his nose out there to start a second line, but yeah, all calm in the neighborhood.
Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I actually did have OBS crash on me over at the major series. We're coming in the final 4 minutes of the race, and it crashes. And when it crashed, there wasn't anything really going on. Everybody was nice, spread out. Once I got it back up and running just as quickly as I did here, we come back and there's battles between across the whole entire field at Mosport. So like we had 3 classes and they were just duking it out for positions all over. I'm like, wait, just like 5 seconds ago, you guys were like 10 seconds apart. What happened? And now they're going 3 wide here on the backstretch of
Yeah, they're trying to get
Talladega.
around that 78. He popped up there and they didn't want to kill their momentum, so you'll see that. And Alex obviously followed Kensley as he's continuing to push him. Instead of will probably drop in there. So they had some momentum, but that really put a damper on it.
Oh yeah. And that 43 of the 42 of Jonathan Stidham, he's back there pushing Alex Teft at the moment on that outside. But they're trying to get them moving. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is your friendly reminder. Get your 36 for 36 and your NASCAR fantasy picks in. I got mine locked and loaded last night.
I haven't done that yet.
Well, you better go do it right now, Brandon.
I better. We brought up stamina a little bit ago. So these drivers are going to be in their seats for somewhere around 3 hours, a little bit more.
Yep.
Like, what do you do for drinks prior and drinks during the race?
Virtually?
Yeah.
Well, for me, when I get ready for a race like this, the Daytona 500, I do a lot of endurance racing as well with Epic Fails Motorsports. Pre-race, getting ready for it. I normally have, a quick snack, so I'll probably have like today, right before this race started, I had an apple. I've got my coffee with me. If I'm down on track, I'll have a couple of bottled waters next to me. I like to have like Pop-Tarts or something like that, just something I can just munch on throughout the race. And then always before I get into a car for a long period of time, always go use the restroom. No matter what, try to force yourself to go, because there ain't nothing like, sitting P2, having to go to the restroom and praying for that caution so that you can get up and run to the bathroom and pray to God you get back before going a lap down.
Yeah, that's the trick. Keeping yourself hydrated and whatnot, especially, I'm a coffee drinker, so when I do one of these races in the morning, that's really hard. It takes some serious work for me not to drink a lot of coffee, so...
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things. These drivers can't hit no pause button. There is no pause in this race. You got about, maybe 13 seconds if you're going to take 4 tires in a pit, but there's really not much you can do in 13 seconds. So, yeah, these drivers got to manage their fluid intake before and during the race just to make sure they can keep it up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, There's been, a couple races, some of these long races where, you know, I ended up drinking a little too much, having to run to the bathroom, and in one of them, I was the race leader, and the caution came out. I'm like, well, dang, there goes that. Um, but I mean,
Yeah.
you just bring the car down and use the bathroom, run back, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You gotta start in the back, but
And honestly, big track like Talladega, if there was caution, somebody could probably pull their car down, use the restroom, get back in it, and probably not go a lap down. Maybe
yeah,
just let
yeah.
it go to the end of the line. So there is that, but no driver really wants to do that.
Oh yeah. And when you're talking there, just a brief moment, I heard a little bit of chit chatter. What's going on
Yeah.
the radio?
Yeah, they're getting ready to come down pit road here. So once you hear one, then you're going to hear more because these drivers know they have to have uh, some peers, some friends who are going to pit with them, so they have somebody to draft with coming out of pit. So I think we're going to see our first round of pit stops coming in. We'll have to pay attention to their speed too and see if any tires lock up. Looks like Stidham's going to be our first one. He's going to slow down plenty. Oh no, we have oh, that was the Mercatees car. Not sure. Maybe that was Stidham in the orange and white.
Oh, you have Stidham in a orange and white car?
No, never mind. Stidham, that was James Foster, I believe. Stidham in that blue food line, blue and white food line car behind him. But it looks like, I think it was James Foster. He's part of that Mercatees racing team. But yeah, he locked him up coming in. So think he slowed down in time. I don't know if he has a black or not, but that was close. He was cutting it. And he's hanging in the pit, so it looks like he does have a speeding penalty. That's going to hurt him a little bit, go a lap down, but he's going to have a chance to make that back up. But nevertheless, it looks like we're probably going to have these drivers stay out just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
A little bit more chatter, some more drivers coming down. But like we said, they're at about 40 laps at the max in the draft that they could go. So within the next 3 laps, you're going to see these drivers complete their pit stops.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just trying to get the paint schemes right.
And mine could be off too a little bit, come to think of it.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, for me, it's one of those like, I want these drivers, I want their cars to look right. As we're taking a look here at Jonathan Stidham, and I think I just heard a bunch of cars start to make their way back down pit road here, led by Blake Viken in that number 18 machine.
Yeah, you're going to see, I think, Chicken Coop Racing as well as Kenzie Smith come down this time as well. So it looks like we're going to have our biggest group come down now, and a bunch of drivers are going on the radio. So this is always a little scary because you have so many drivers coming down. Everybody's braking point is a little bit different because they don't practice this in a line necessarily. So we'll have to watch this.
Oh, it's always a blast to watch, though.
Oh, for sure. Some good entertainment here.
Back it down, back it down. The 54, he got a hit penalty, speeding on pit road. And this last group here has made it through. And we still got 5 drivers who still need to come down pit road. And that's going to be Troy Thomas, Terry Fennell, Truth Hope, Trevor Fettig, and Jonathan Stidham. He just had a big issue here on the front straightaway. Ooh, big contact
Yeah, really
there.
good pit cycle by that Chicken Coop Racing, Kensley 78. They all came out about the same time, and that's what you want. When everybody pits together, you want everybody taking the same tires, just so you're all coming out about the same time, so you don't have to wait for anybody once you get back out on the track, because the more cars they can have in a row, the faster they're going to go, and the quicker they're going to get up to speed. So
Yeah,
good
for
pit
sure.
stop by them. Ooh, that's a tight racing there.
55 pitting.
Entering 3. Man, we had some cars that came up off of pit road, and they weren't up to speed yet, and they got in front of some of those leaders, including Kensley Smith. And Kensley said, if you want to get up in front of me, go ahead. And he gave him a hard push, and then cars behind him tried to make it 4 wide, didn't want to lose their momentum. So that was a little scary. Skipped a beat of my heart there, but all good, all back in line, all going strong.
Alright, let's see. Your top 4 that just came down pit road, they are all clean and clear. And so they're going to make their way out of the pits now. And oh, I lost the 78's paint scheme. You know what? This is what I need to do right here. We're going to completely close out trading paints, reboot it. Sometimes that's all it takes, is just a little extra love. But that will put Troy Thomas in that 88 machine out front, with Terry Fennell currently running 2nd. Kirby Wainscott 3rd. Kensley Smith in the 4th. Followed by Truth Hoke in that 55 machine. But right now it looks like Troy Thomas and Terry Fennell, they are out to almost a 2-second lead over that pack. And they're going to start getting some help from the lap cars here of Sam Lubers and that 21 of Robert Morris. So they're going to have help here with these 2 drivers. So as long as they can, run single file with them and be in a good draft, they should be able to stay well ahead of that 2nd pack.
Oh, for sure. It's just going to come down to them not competing against each other, and that means staying in the single file line, like you said, and not trying to go double wide there, because that'll just slow them up a little bit. So as long as they can stay in line and not try to battle too much with each other, they should be in a pretty good position. But that pack led by Kirby Wainscott, there's also about double the amount of cars there. So they have the potential to catch them as long as they can also stay single file and not really compete against each other at this point. But I'm looking at that pack, and I see a lot of experienced drivers. They know there's no point in competing. They got to catch that front 4 first.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we apologize. Well, I apologize about that because, well, Brandon has no choice in the matter. But I do apologize about that. But you guys didn't miss a thing. Troy Thomas, Terry Fennell still out front.
They picked up one more car in that front group, but that second group, look who's in second place, one of our best pushers, Kensley Smith. So I think it's just a matter of time before they catch everybody. Everybody in that second line, they know the assignment. They're staying single file, getting up on that back bumper of the car in front of them. So they're making time lap by lap. I think in about 2-3 laps, we'll see them all merge together.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's always fun to watch how these play out because You know, once you get out to a decent lead, and yeah, there it goes.
Yeah,
What?
and the thing is, when Kirby
Sorry.
catches that second pack, they're gonna have a run. So you're probably gonna see them uh, try to bounce it outside and keep that momentum and potentially get back up there to lead it. So this will be fun to watch as they approach them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Kirby's right at that moment. He's going to be picking up the draft of that car behind him. So now that you're going to see they're going to slingshot right up to the front, and
No, he's gonna stay
he's
right
thought
behind.
about it. He
It,
thought about it. Put that nose out there a little bit, but thought twice of it.
just out of curiosity, what paint scheme do you see on that 42 machine in your iRacing?
Let's see, 42. Hit him.
Yep.
Where is he? Oh, I see a blue, red NASCAR themed.
Beautiful. That's what I'm seeing as well. All right, guys. I think I got it figured out. I think we're good here. But now Troy Thomas in that 88 machine, he's fighting for his life up here with Terry Fennell. They're saying, well, everybody else caught us, so now it's time to go. But as right now, Kirby Wainscott, he is staying on that inside lane. But Terry Fennell takes it high through the tri-oval, which is going to slow down their momentum. Because now they got a good 2-car separation between the two. And here comes Jonathan Stidham to the outside trying to hit one of his laps back. But he gets eaten alive there by that, who was that? Is that David Davis there?
Yeah, I think that Stidham's a couple laps behind. I think he just went high to let that lead lap car behind him so he can kind of battle up there. Stidham's probably content where he is right now, being 2 laps down. He's just waiting for that caution to come out if it does.
Yeah, definitely. But right now, that number 21 machine of Robert Morris, he is fighting to stay on. No, I think he's fighting to stay just. Well, yeah, he's fighting to stay on the lead lap here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hoping for a caution too. He does not want to go a lap down.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have a car like that who's a lap down leading and you're the car behind them leading the race, you're okay with that because you're picking up his draft. You only have to be about 75 to 50% throttle, so you're saving fuel too. So this is the best case scenario for that first place car.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're working lap number 50 of 188, so you know, we're a little bit more than 3 or 1/4, 3/4 of the way through, or 1/4. I hate it when I try to do math like that. We're about 1/3 of the way through the race. That's what I was trying to say here. As
it looks like the 6 team. I didn't notice that Sam Lubers, he's also a lap down. So that 1 and 2 are both a lap down. So that's interesting because if you're Sam, you're not in the lucky dog spot, even though you're the second car in the lead pack.
Well, so technically, right now they are on the lead lap.
Correct. As long as the leader doesn't pass them.
Correct.
But if a leader did pass both of them, then you might see Sam try to make a pass on the 21 to take that lucky dog spot. So it's a race within a race. Makes it a little more entertaining, especially as we get closer to the end there.
Yep. Right now, the first car one lap down is Melon Mafia, or Melon Man Mafia, Chris Lawrence in that 54 machine. He is currently your first car 1 lap down, but you know, he does have that 87 of Eric Dodd right behind him, and Cody Benelli right behind him. So, I mean, that right there, that's your battle for the lucky dog back here in the back. But as of right now, everybody's gotten themselves back single file.
And that's what can make it really hairy, especially later in races when you have, obviously, the leaders battling, but then you have the first lap car down. If they're up at the front too, you have 2 different, basically, races, drivers battling it out, 2 separate races. They're just really on the same track at the same point in the track at that time. So that can get really, really interesting at the end of the race.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you saw Kirby Wainscott jump out there in 3 and 4, trying to cool off his engine a little bit more. Because the more you can keep that engine cooled off, the more performance your engine will have throughout the race. So sticking your nose out just a little bit like that, even just for a split, 1 to 2 seconds, that's enough to cool it down by like 10 to 20 degrees. So
Oh yeah, even just around one turn. I don't see a lot of pushing though right now. That's usually when they'll overheat because your nose gets so close to that rear bumper, there's just no airflow through the radiator there to cool everything down. But we really don't see that, and I think that's because those front two cars are just on the lead lap. They really don't care to go faster, especially since they're single file. They're not battling with anybody on their right, on their outside. So, but yeah, when they're nose to nose and they're pushing, like we saw the 15 earlier, a lot of the times you'll see that car that they're pushing stay up about a half a car length in the turn, and then the pusher will go down right to the yellow line to catch some air to cool that motor down on the turns.
yeah.
Speaking of Kensley, it looks like his nose is pushed in.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at that.
I know he had a hard push, and I think it might have been on Kirby when he came out. No, not Kirby when he came out of the pit. Maybe it was. Um, well, no, Kirby pitted at the same time. There was some car that came out of the pit. Kensley had pitted lap before, so he was up to momentum, and they came up in front of him, and he gave them a big push. It may have caused during that, and what that's going to do, that's really going to mess with the aero on his car. So Kensley probably knows that. He can feel it, so he's not going to try to lead any pack. He's okay where he is with someone in front of him, someone behind him, but he's going to have some trouble unless he gets that repaired to be able to lead and potentially win the race.
Yeah, that right there honestly, I think that only might be like a 5 to 10 second repair right there. So when he comes down for fuel and tires, that should knock out most of that repair. And then when he comes down the next time, it'll finish it off.
Yeah, and Talladega, late in the race, we're always susceptible to caution. So if a caution came out, he would have plenty of time. I mean, a car can get about a minute and a half, almost a little bit more than that of repair time per caution lap. So he's still in really good shape. And if it really came down to it, he could always use his fast repair at the final scheduled pit stop. But those decisions are always really tough, Mike. I've been in that position too many times, and you're just sitting there like, oh, come on. So the decision is, do I use a fast repair or do I try to repair it? Because we know the inevitable big one is going to probably come at the end of the race. And if you're involved in that, you're definitely going to need a fast repair in time to get back out there. So those are always really hard decisions.
Yeah, something like this, I definitely will not use my fast repair.
Because he can stay in the pack. He's fine staying in the middle of the pack. He's content with that.
Exactly. Yeah, later on in the race, as you said, there's that possibility of a big one. And, there's no point in using up your fast repair just for a minor damage like that. You can't push like you normally would because of the damage. So you definitely want your air to get to your nose. So that's why he's not right there on the back bumper, Wayne Scott. So he obviously he knows about it, and he's just taking care of his stuff right now.
Yeah, he knows it's a marathon. And looks like all these drivers have really settled down. Haven't seen anybody try to poke their nose out and put it too wide. So yeah, Not too much aggression showing. We're about 55 laps in, so we're coming up on about a third of the way through the race. I would expect to see those aggressive moves probably with about 30 to 20 laps to go. And that's really because, you'll have drivers in the back who know everybody's going to start to be more aggressive in a number of laps, and they're going to think, man, I want to be in the front of this pack before everybody starts getting more aggressive and the wrecks happen. And that just causes more aggression. So it's really a domino effect at
Yeah.
that point. It's just whoever decides to start pushing it two, even three wide to get up to the front, everybody else is going to see that, and they're not going to want to get passed by them to put themselves in that own position. So, yeah, it just depends on when somebody wants to start getting aggressive about the last 25% or so of the race.
Exactly. And it's like, once one person says, hey, I got to get to the front, everybody else goes the same, as you said. And it's like, well, that's just not going to work. And that's when we see our big crashes.
Yes, exactly.
A little bit of a separation starting to get there from Kirby Wainscott back to Kensley. I'm wondering if Kensley's starting to have issues staying up there with that number 10.
Yeah, he's got a few car gap on him right now. We'll have to pay attention to that. But it looks like there's a few. And Alex is doing the same thing, and the car behind Alex there, Troy, is doing the same thing. I just don't think they're being too overly aggressive right now. They know they can catch right back up if they need to.
So one of my biggest fears in this kind of style racing, is when you are single file like this, if you got that one driver that just isn't really full throttle when he needs to be, and you lose the front pack,
Yeah.
that is the worst feeling in the world. And it's like, come on, bro, hit the gas.
Yeah, you're basically one big train, and if there's a caboose that doesn't keep up, well, you lose the train. And then you're
Yeah,
just, again, you're hoping for a caution to get caught back up. So, yeah,
yeah,
you really put your trust and your faith on the driver in front. And the problem is, if you're behind them and you notice that they're not keeping up, well, it's probably too late. You can't really get beside them and get caught, pass them and get caught back up at that point. So, yeah, tough position.
yeah. Yeah, people get frustrated with me because once I see that gap start to grow, I am on the back bumper of the car in front of me pushing him.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's one of the parts where you really have to be aggressive no matter what part of these super speedway races, these draft tracks, is if you're going to lose the draft, you instantly got to turn on that aggression meter and get by somebody.
yeah, for sure. As we look back to Troy Thomas in that 88 machine from the roof of Alex Teft. While we are in the single file rotation, I would like to give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors here on the Racers Elite Network. First, Collateral Damage Sports Network and Shane Cochran. Man, he gives us so many beautiful overlays to use here on our broadcast. Uh, the single card that you see right there next to Alex's name and helmet, um, to your team roster that you see there on your screen, and your starting grid, your post-race results, and your podium finisher overlays. All that is coming from Collateral Damage. So we want to thank them so much. We want to thank iRacing for giving us a place to call home and to fill our sim racing needs. I've called iRacing home for 16 years, and I've never ran on anything else ever since. We want to thank Mercatees.com. If you head over to Mercatees.com, and you place an order, make sure you use the code run over, like grandma got ran over. Use that code to get I believe it's 10% off of your entire order. They got some pretty cool shirts. They got funny shirts. You guys go check them out, mercanties.com. We want to thank Speed Zone Race Control for doing everything that they do for race control here on Racers Elite. For almost every single one of our events, we do have Speed Zone with us. And today in our race control, we have Christian Shriver. He is replacing Chantel today. So, Christian, thank you so much for everything that you do for us as well. So, Speed Zone Race Control, make sure you guys go check them out for all of your race control needs. We want to thank SDK and ATVO. They are pretty much the heart of our overlay systems. I know that I use SDK Gaming, and I know a couple of our other producers here on Racers Elite, they do use ATVO, so we want to thank both of them so much. And finally, I want to thank Whiplash Sim Cams for giving us all these beautiful, amazing camera views that you get to see here on the Racers Elite Network. And I believe all of our broadcasters do use the Whiplash Sim Cams. So definitely a big, huge shout out to them. So Whiplash Sim Cams, go check them out. And if you guys are looking for any Racer Elite apparel, just scan that QR code on your screen and get some Racer Elite merch. And that's going to help benefit us here at Racers Elite and on the Racers Elite Network.
Yeah, definitely some good stuff at that store, some good clothing.
Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Got Trevor Fetzig up top there, trying to make his way up through the field.
Yeah, Truth Oak there behind him, giving him a nice push there, making a little bit of ground. But as you can see, a couple cars behind him now maybe forming in that second line to give them a boost. So if that can happen and they can stay in a straight line for a few laps, they can make some positions for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Troy Thomas in the 88.
Troy the 88 leaving that pack. Yep.
My bad. From far away, their cars look identical.
They do. They do.
And I'm looking, I'm like, wait a second. Truth Hook is pushing. Wait, what? Oh, that's why. Because that's Troy Thomas in the 88.
Yeah, this pack here is just breaking up a little bit. We got some gaps. Nothing where people are going to lose the draft right now. But they're just kind of feeling around, seeing if anything has changed on the track surface, what the car likes best, what it doesn't. I don't think really too harm, too foul. Nobody's really losing much or gaining.
Yeah. As we see, Kensley Smith starting to get passed there by Richard Ode in that number 78 machine. But Kensley was able to get back around him. Oh, big contact. These two drivers are in some sort of disagreement as they're still beating. Oh, that's the 777 of David Davis.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Richard.
Something maybe from before, because they definitely weren't happy with each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually when that happens, someone doesn't agree with what they're doing, and it's been going on for a little while. So
yeah, let's go back a little bit here. I know, I'm doing something I don't like to do, but now I'm curious on what the heck we all missed. Okay, so it's been a couple laps. Here it is. This is where the original pass looks like it started. Kensley left the open for the 777, and he snuck his way through. And then you guys saw the results of that, the beating and banging.
Yeah, and you know, Kensley's trying to race with these leaders up here. That car's what, a lap or a couple laps down.
Yeah.
I think that's why you're seeing that. There's really no reason to be doing that. He's not gaining anything from racing the leaders up there.
Exactly. But we are back to our 2-wide formation here. Troy Thomas right there on the back bumper of the 10 of Kirby Wainscott, almost turning Wainscott up here in turns 1 and 2, as they are starting to make their way around the outside here. Looks like the 777, he was able to get one of his laps back.
Yeah, that outside lane there is starting to pick up a little bit. Led by Kirby now. Kirby got out in front of Troy, so that outside pack is just growing, which is going to help its momentum.
Yep. You know, and I'm actually very curious on something. And I'm glad that I do have an overlay for that. Does Kensley have any teammates in? No, so he does. He's by himself, so his teammates are actually your chicken coop drivers. And they're not all listing here for some odd reason. And you know who's missing today that I just realized?
I think I know who you're going to say. Andrew Teft.
I just realized he's not here today.
Yeah, I was surprised not to see him. Usually makes all these races, but you know, life sometimes gets in the way, so can't make every race. But yeah, usually he's out there in these super speedway races. He's one of those drivers who knows when to be up there at the right time.
Yeah, so right now we actually only do have 3 chicken coop drivers out here today. Well, technically 2, which is Kirby Wainscott and Alex Teft. But they do got Kensley Smith there in their little
yeah,
their little family.
I see Alex now, and I see Kirby on the top. I thought Kensley might join him. Maybe he's going to join them at the pack or at the back to not really lose that draft. And Troy's up there as well, and they're making some good ground only with those 2 cars. Kirby's doing a really good job of pushing that 43.
Yeah. Oh no! Here it goes! No!
Oh, just a push gone wrong, really.
Chris Lawrence is involved in this one here. The 87 of Eric Dodd. I think Timothy Eisburn made it through that one. But man, let's go back and see what happened. Just Wayne Scott giving a good old push there to the 43 machine, getting the 43 sideways in. The 54 machine, the 87 of Eric Dodd. And there's one other one involved, but I wasn't able to catch who that was. The 88 Troy Thomas. He got a lot of back end damage here on this one as well. Man, let's ride on board here with Chris Lawrence. And just see how fast all this happens. Man.
All right. Well, nevertheless, obviously this is a time where drivers are going to come in and pit. probably see some tires since it's a yellow flag stop. They're really not going to lose much, and it might be the last time we'll see tires.
Yeah, we had a little extracurricular activity here by that run over driver of James Foster. Huh. I wonder what.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's what's really going on there and why. I don't know if he slowed down or
Yeah, he shifted all the way from fifth all the way down to first.
and that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Gonna have a couple upset drivers with him as well, but I'm taking a look here at Kensley's. Yeah, he's still sitting down here on pit road. He is getting that damage repaired. Very smart,
Yeah,
very smart here out of Kensley. I mean, we know he's gonna be back up front like quick. So
yeah, for sure. And you see Kirby and Alex there too in the pit getting their stuff fixed, which tells you the damage probably isn't too much. Um, Can't remember which one actually made contact with the wall and if not and how bad it was, but I'll tell you, at these super speedways your car is moving so fast that you might think it's just a light tap, but then you end up having 4 or 5 minutes of damage repair. So
yeah,
we'll have to see if these cars really visually look any different exiting pit road before they go a lap down. Then we'll know about how much more damage they have to repair.
yeah, for sure. And if you guys take a look at the front end of this 15 machine, it's definitely back to normal here.
Yeah, he's good to go. And it's always a good feeling to get it repaired in one lap and you don't go a lap down. So you're right back to be competing for this win at the end now.
Yeah, for sure. And the one that did hit the wall, that was the 43 of Alex Teft, and his car looks pretty good here on this aspect. I mean, they could have wiped it off a little bit, but
Yeah, he had that driver's side rear quarter panel bumper area that was dented in, and that seems to be out. So I think Alex might have had all of it, if not really the vast majority of it repaired.
yeah, we do got Troy Thomas here. Looks like he's still got a little bit of left front damage, but that's nothing that they can't buff out, next time they come down pit road. So he should be all right. Um, Actually, it doesn't look too bad from this angle. It is a little dented in, but he'll
Yeah,
be
not too
alright.
bad though.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah, even
alright.
a little dent can really change the arrow, but I mean, Troy's going to be fine at this point in the race, I think. He's going to have most likely more opportunities to fix that more if it needs to be. But he can run in the middle of a pack, no problem.
Yeah, for sure. And your lucky dog this time should have been Lawrence, but he was caught up in the incident. So,
That's always a tough break.
yeah. I feel it because I've been there.
Oh, I've been there too many times, unfortunately. Yeah. You think you're in a good position to get that lucky dog, and then your car makes contact with somebody else, either for the caution or right after the caution flag is thrown, and it just eliminates you from that lucky dog candidate. And man, it just feels like you're back right to square one after
Yep.
working so hard to get up there.
Yeah, back on Wednesday, I ran the Open NIS race, and I ended up going a lap down because my VR started stuttering on me, and so I had to pull off the track and close out of the sim, come back in. Luckily, this was all under caution, so I only went one lap down, and I was like, "Sweet, I'm the lucky dog candidate. I'm gonna get this thing going." Crash happened right in front of me. I was good. I was good. I was good. And then one of the drivers came down and gave me a 0x. And I watched that lucky dog candidate thing disappear.
Yep.
I was like, no.
Yeah, super speedway racing, man, it can be draining in just those mental aspects for sure.
for sure. But here on the front row, Truth Oak, Richard Ode, they will
Yeah,
bring the
Truth Oak,
field.
Richard Ode leading us off.
I know. And
Working
we
their
are
way up there.
into the United Rental Restart Zone. We are green flag racing once again here at Talladega Super Speedway. And you see Truth Oak get out to a really good lead here. And the 78, you're not clear. Blake Veekin stuck his nose on the inside there as Ode was trying to get down. And he's going to squeeze himself in between Trevor
Tight fit.
Fetzig. Woo!
Whew. I was nervous for that one.
You know, sometimes you just got to YOLO.
Yep. And I mean, I don't think he would have really lost too many positions if he didn't find that spot, but I don't know. Maybe he
Right.
thought that front line was really dying quick. And sometimes you don't know when you're up there. You don't know if drivers are leaving that top line
Yeah.
quickly. So he just wanted to save that position that he was currently in.
You know, just give people general idea. We're going to go right on board here with that number 50 machine. And we're going to go in the cockpit view. And this is what you see up in your mirror. You know, you see cars behind you, but like you don't know how far back that third car is from the car behind you. And
Yeah, you really
sometimes
don't.
and like right here, you can't even see who's all behind you. So that's what Richard Ode was looking at. You know, he can't really see, he doesn't know, so his best bet was to get down as quick as he can.
And right back up he goes. He saw that momentum stayed on the top line. Enough drivers stayed out there. So, you know, these drivers are starting to get a little more aggressive. We're almost halfway through.
Yeah. I mean, we've been going for about an hour and 11 minutes now, so... And we've already ran 80 laps, which is not bad whatsoever. So we're actually having a really good time here. On time, I should say. So these guys, you know, they're quickly trying to get these 500 miles over so that they can look forward to Texas next week. I believe it's Texas, right? Yeah.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to run...
Man, we got a caution. We got some drivers in the back. I don't know if that was a push gone wrong or somebody just tried to go somewhere where they didn't have the room.
And just like that, it's like there wasn't even nobody spun around. But that was the 16 of Sam Luber's. Let's go back here.
Yeah, he was on the lead lap, too. Last car in the lead lap. Luckily, he's able to keep it straight and keep going.
Troy Thomas, yeah, that's a big bump. The 16,
Yeah.
he left it open.
He left it open. There just wasn't enough room for him to stay that close and stay down there. Yeah, tough
Yeah.
spot.
Well, he did go for a 720 there, so.
Yeah, luckily for all the drivers, though, I don't really think a lot of damage. I mean, they have time to come in and get anything repaired there. So, luckily, damage was minimized.
Yeah, as you see, it was kind of left open, and the 88 of Troy Thomas just tried to stick his nose in.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, when you go up a lane like that, you got to assume that driver, especially in your rearview mirror, you know, if they're there, they're there. And I get it. Sam doesn't want to be hung out to dry in that middle lane. Just ran out of real estate.
Right. Unfortunately, that was definitely one of those moments that, you know, you should have just stayed high. But this is going to be very interesting to see how race control is going to call this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say we should probably see some drivers come down. They're probably just going to do tire or fuel only here on this pit stop.
Yeah, fuel only, and I mean they're gonna have to do 2 more stops regardless. Either way, I think so. They're getting about 40 laps 39, 40 laps per fuel run as long as we're in the draft.
Yep. And just as I anticipated, mainly fuel, but you do got some drivers, the 88 taking tires, the 78 back there of Richard Ode, he's taking tires. Sam Lubers, he's heading on out. So that's Chris Lawrence in the 54 back there as well. So I guess they got some extra damage added on. So there goes Ode. He's leaving now. And now, the game of wait.
Seems like that's usually how it happens. Once that first caution comes out, it just kind of opens up the floodgates. All these cars get back up together. Uh, sometimes frustrations just boil a little bit more. People get a little bit more aggressive because of that, and then it turns into cautions. But nevertheless, it's also more exciting, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Taking a look here at Truth Hook in that number 55 machine. Looks like he's got a little bit of nose damage.
Yeah.
Jump back to second place. Trevor Fetzig in his Detroit Lions number 711 machine. The number 57 of Aaron Roth in that iCats Chevrolet. Blake Beacon in that fourth spot in that caramel M&M sponsored Toyota. Ryan Warp in that Air Jordan number 45 machine. Trevor Fitzeg in that Grizzly nicotine pouch number 50. I don't condone nicotine, guys. Don't do it. Beautiful paint scheme, though. 43, Alex Teft in his usual, looks like a mint green number 43.
Planet Express, yeah.
Yeah. Full throttle driver, 15, Kensley Smith. Actually, weird not seeing Napa on that car.
Yeah, rare sighting.
Yep. Easy drinking, guys. Yep. Full throttle, guys. Make sure you take it easy on your energy drinks. They're no fun when you have a couple heart attacks from them. Trust me, I know. Sam Lubers in that mellow yellow number 16 machine. Eric Dodd in that Wendy's number 87. Kirby Wainscott in that KFC number 10 machine. Troy Thomas in that Thomas number 88. Then Martin Truex Jr. throwback to the 78. Get a good look of it here as he circles around turns 1 and 2. So that's actually the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation. Robert Morris in that Sitco number 21. Classic throwback right there. Love it. The 54 Remington Chevrolet. Chris Lawrence. Jonathan Stidham in that 96 NASCAR Racing number 42. RTA driver David Davis. James Foster in that Mercedes number 9. And Cody Benelli, who's out of the race, actually. So that's just looking up at all the paint schemes as we're under this caution. But guess what? We're going back green flag racing. Trevor Fetzig will lead them back to the green here. And we are green flag once again here at Talladega Super Speedway as we complete lap number 83. As these drivers are just 5 laps shy from getting to that 100 laps to go mark as they make their way up through the bakings of turns 1 and 2 here. As everybody is starting to cycle up through the gearboxes. Currently in 4th. And now probably into 5th. As they make their way down this very long back straightaway.
Yeah, Trevor Fettig in that outside line taking a little bit longer to get caught up to speed here. And obviously, I think that's because they only have 4 cars in that outside lane right now. But I would expect a few more cars to join them to try to get up there. And you can see Alex Teft already popping up, and along with Kensley Smith. So that outside line is only going to gain momentum.
Yeah, for sure. Trevor Fettig, it's very hard to say anything about him in the draft because he's normally a pushing car. I've never really seen him out front, so I wonder if he's just a better pusher.
Yeah, some drivers would prefer to push rather than lead just because they know they have a good grasp for it. They feel comfortable with it for, this track, race conditions, whatever it might be. So not surprising there. One driver I'm keeping my eye on, though, is that the 45 ride of Brian Warp. I just feel like he's always been in a good position all day long, in a smart position, really, to avoid
Yeah.
contact, to get into the pits easily. It just he knows who to be behind. He knows who to have behind him pushing. So I'm thinking that 45 is going to be up there as long as he can stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you on that. And that 45, he's definitely up there, and one of those guys that you have to watch.
Truth Hope, we mentioned his nose is a little bit dented in, and he's leading that bottom line. So that's only going to slow that line down. It might be ever so slightly, but that might be enough just to generate, a momentum advantage on that outside line led by Kirby right now.
I don't know. That outside lane's kind of stalled out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. They need some more drivers up there, I think. You got 5 versus about 10 on the bottom.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, even the slightest dent, the slightest, misformation of some kind of fender or whatever it might be, and when you're going 200 miles an hour, that will completely change the aero of that car and probably create more downforce than what's needed. So
yeah, for sure.
It's really hard. Even when there's a slight dent, you think, oh, that's no biggie. But when you're leading and you're the first car pushing that air, it can make a world of a difference.
Yeah. Something I did notice, and I don't know if it's just me, but like if you've got a little bit of damage and you're following somebody, okay, and you decide the final lap, you're going to jump out coming to the start-finish line, and you've got, so say like the 43 of Alex Steff pushing you, right? When you first jump out, the air like has no idea that you have damage. And then all of a sudden it says, wait a second, this doesn't feel right, and then it slows you down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever felt that here in iRacing, but I mean, obviously in real life it's a little... Oh!
Oh! Truth cut down and then cut back up.
Caution is out here for Kirby Wainscott here on the back straightaway. That must have been a wild ride as we look from the back bumper of Kirby Wainscott.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking on that one.
Yeah, I have no clue on that one. Let me see here. I might have a general idea. So that's going to be Aaron Roth in the 57. We're going to go on board. So right before that happens. Huh. I don't...
I mean, cutting the yellow line right there, you're coming up to the turn, so...
Yeah, I don't...
Really no advantage there. All I know is Kirby ain't pleased with that, and I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, and then Truth Hook had some issues up here as well. Coming back onto the track.
Yeah, got loose and then caught some more drivers up. And man, I've been those drivers before where you just get caught up in some other people's issue going on, and then you're just like, man, just
Oh,
an innocent bystander. Yeah,
that 21 hard into the outside wall. That
yeah.
50
21,
machine.
92 will have some good damage. That Grizzly car there. All three of them are going to take probably a little drive around. I don't know. That 92 got it twice though. But
Yeah.
if he was able to keep it going, he could at least go in and use a fast repair as long as he's got it. The good thing is, I don't think any of these drivers, if any, have used a fast repair yet.
Right.
Maybe a couple, so this might be the time to use it.
Uh, to be fair, here on this part, Truth was holding it down below the yellow. He just didn't slow down enough, and he clipped the apron ever so lightly.
Yeah, and that'll upset a car really quick, clipping that apron at those speeds. So
Man.
yeah, I don't think he wanted to wreck himself and cause damage and wreck these other drivers too. So I mean, it's just a tough position.
Yeah. But we're going to line them up, do it all over again. We have crossed over into 100 laps to go, by the way. Should have like 98 laps or 97 when we come back to the green flag. While we're under this caution, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for a quick commercial break. And then we will come back right about when we're going to go green flag racing.
He's opening the door right there. Run. With a head of steam moving to the outside his chin. Richie says it can't be done. Tony Shallen says turn on the reggae music. If you're going to pass me, you're going to do it high.
There is just one more lap remaining, and look how close Modoff is. He got the slipstream.
There we go. 2 laps to settle it in the Blue Emu Firecracker 400. Whatever you got to give it now. Back to green we go.
On the final lap, side by side, they still run wheel to wheel. Now, through the snake, the S as we go. Quaro edges ahead. Modoff is still there.
White flag, one more to go on the Daytona 250. Keplinger leads that lap. Who's going to lead the last one?
To the line, look at that. Dave Chapman's going to send it around the outside final corner. Has he got it done?
Continuing to go side by side for the lead through 3 and 4, and they manage it safely. Now through 5.
And hunting for a way by
Side
it
by
all.
side.
Round 2 between Phil Sellinger and Goat.
To the outside. White flag is out side by side. They make contact in the turn number 1. Ooh, gets onto the grass now down to the inside. Andy T, a little bit of a wiggle and the perfect crossover there from Polly Parson to defend the position. Andy T totally sideways. They're still sideways going into Siberia.
And getting ready to cross. He goes around the outside, but it's not enough.
Eden's up the racetrack. Cardwell down the track. A photo finish. James Eden wins it.
It's still 4 abreast into the braking zone. This is sensational racing.
And here comes Bowden. It's going to be a drag race to the end. That's side by side. Who gets it?
Williams tries to cover him off, but once again, pulling the over-under. Daniel Morad is going to win with a last quarter pass.
Newsom's coming up right there. By the corner. It's going to be pinned down.
Oliver's going to come back at him. It's going to be a race to the line. Does he have enough? Down to it.
And they're wrecking in 3. Here comes Michael Cozy Jr. Michael Cozy Jr.'s got the lead.
He looks to the inside. Side by side for the race lead.
Alrighty, guys, we are back here at Talladega Super Speedway. These cars just went green flag, and everybody's already made their way to that inside lane.
Yeah, and I got Eric Dodd and Aaron Roth leading it off on that front line. Eric Dodd on the inside. Obviously, that inside has did a little bit better on the start there, and he's currently got the lead. But look who's behind him, those two drivers there. We'll see if they're going to be patient or they're going to pop out like they have done so far in this race from time to time.
Yes, definitely going to be very interesting to see what Alex Teft and Kensley Smith are going to do, as that outside lane is starting to have a little extra momentum on that outside. So, being led by Aaron. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we're getting some good aggressive moves here. I like this. 78 Richard Ode, so he's going to try to lead that inside. 45 thinks better of it, going to go to the inside. And I don't blame him. When you start seeing cars like that be more aggressive, the first thing that happens on wrecks is the cars shoot up the track. So if you're on the inside, you got a lot better chance to avoid something.
Yeah. Well, when you're also on that inside, you have an out. And when it starts getting crazy, that's exactly what you are looking for. And, well, I don't blame that 45 Ryan Warp to quickly jump down the way he did. But these guys got to really start settling down just a little bit here, because, I mean, we still got a very, very long way to go.
Yeah, real long way to go. I mean, we're only lap 93, so 94, excuse me. You know, we're about halfway now, so we still got a lot of racing to go here. These cars got to hold up still.
Yep. We're still looking at probably just about 3 more pit stops. Just to give you guys a general idea, for them to make it to the end, 3 more pit stops. And there goes that 78 of Ode, giving Kensley Smith a really good shot there through 3 and 4. He's trying to get Kensley out to the front.
Yeah, he's doing a good job pushing. Alex is becoming a little bit more aggressive on the bottom there, pushing that 87 of Eric Dodd as well. So we got 2 lines really going strong. Looks like Dodd gets a little bit loose, especially going into those turns if Alex pushes him. So, and I think that's why you see that gap between the 78 now and the 87, which is going to hold that line up a little bit temporarily. But yeah, sometimes it just depends on when those pushes come and if that driver, their car is comfortable with it or not.
Yeah, for sure.
And Kirby's right on the bumper of that 67, trying to get him to push to get that run coming out of these turns. We'll see if that'll work. Oh, and we're getting a little bit of loose. There was another push, sort of gone wrong, but it was held. 10 into the 16. 16 got a little bit loose, came down into the 78, but everybody was able to hold it straight, so that's good.
You know, I also want to point out that number 16 is Sam Lubers. Near the beginning of this race, at like lap 40-something after the first pit stop, he was almost on the verge of going 1 lap down.
That's true.
And look at him now. He is up here fighting for the race lead down the back straightaway here on lap 96.
He's taking it. Yeah, he was nearly a lap down. He was one of those 2 cars that we saw earlier in the race just hanging out front. And, man, it paid off for him because he's now leading with Kirby right behind him.
Oh, yeah.
And that 57 to Aaron Roth, he has made his way up. He's been really patient this whole race.
Yes.
And, you know, that's paying dividends for him now. So he's happy to be on that inside, I'm sure, 3rd car back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, you know, Aaron Roth, he's one of those other drivers that kind of just, he's silent until it matters the most.
Yeah, every driver has a little bit different take on how they approach these super speedway races, all dependent on the length. And when we have 188 laps, you're really going to see some drivers just kind of take it easy and let everybody else.
And just take a look at that teamwork between Kirby Wainscott, Kensley Smith. Just absolutely rocket to the front. And they do have that 42 of Jonathan Stidham up there as well. He's still 2 laps down, so he's fighting the hard way to get one of his laps back. So right now, if a caution were to come out, the 21 of Robert Morris, he will get the lucky dog unless if Morris is involved. And then that would go to Jonathan Sim in the 42 as long as he stays clean.
Yeah, Stidham can get out in front of the Kirby there. I think Kirby would be okay with that because that would save Kirby some fuel, but he's got to get up there first.
Yeah, one issue with that whole entire thing, they've got the 9 and 21 coming up as well. So Morris, he's looking to get his lap back. And then if a caution were to come out, that would give it to Stidham anyway. So this is somewhat of a win-win situation if he can get that 21 up front as well. But the 21 is getting hung out to dry at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. The 21 just kind of held up there. I don't think Truth really wanted to make it 3 wide, but he said, if you're going to hold up that much and leave a 2-car length gap, I'm going to go.
Yes, Truth Hoke, he's on a mission right now.
Yeah, I don't blame him on that one, man. If you're going to hold it up that long, you got to go. And I think maybe that was intentional by that car since the 21's a lap down. He said, I'm just going to back out of here so these guys can compete. But maybe he also wanted to go to that third line and try that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit confused on why those 3 cars went all the way to the top side. It's not going to benefit them whatsoever. It's just going to cause them to lose their spot on track.
Yeah, not enough cars up there right now. We haven't really seen that top line because we haven't been 3 wide yet to really see the full potential of it. But it's really going to be hard for us to get a good judgment on it right now with only 3 cars up there.
Yeah. I'm just a bit confused on why they stayed up the way they did. Because that right there, that just cost Stidham the opportunity to get one of his laps back. So
yeah, sometimes
I'm
it's,
confused.
you have your, I don't know if they're...
hold on to it, Truth!
And we have some tight racing going on. And we're
the 9 got turned into the outside wall.
Yeah, I don't know if that's slow enough. Yeah, that's not going to bring out a caution. He's back up to speed, but that's tough for the number 9 there of Foster.
Well, we're going to go do what I hate doing, but here we are.
Felt like he was just up here pushing not a few laps ago.
Yeah, just a bad push gone wrong.
Yeah, one of those cases where someone's right on your bumper and you pop out of line and their speed just keeps up faster than yours a little bit, and you pop back in and their right front fender's there, or left front fender's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll have to bring him down pit road. Obviously, you can see sparks flying.
Yeah, for sure, and he's having issues controlling that car for sure at the moment.
It looks like that left front tire is locked up. I don't think the brakes are on.
Yeah.
Maybe they were.
Yeah, definitely tough break.
I'll have to get that fixed before he can come back out.
Well, I mean, he does have that fast repairs, so...
He does.
So he's probably going to come down, get it fixed, and head back out.
Yeah, I don't think NASCAR was too happy on that pit entrance, so they might have something to say there, but...
Yep, there he goes. Yep, he used his fast repair. No penalty, so he's just going to get his car full of fuel and get back out, but that's going to put him 2 laps down as well. Maybe
yeah, and while
3.
all that was going on, we got a 55 of Truth Hope now, making his way up there, working with the 54
Oh,
of Chris Lawrence.
No, there he goes! Oh, wait, Scott, in the wall.
And Kirby in the
Everybody
wall.
involved.
And this is the big one, and we're only halfway through.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just a tough push on Truth Hope. And I believe Truth had used his fast repair last time, so it just depends on how much damage for him. But a lot of these drivers, a lot of damage to get sorted out right now in the pits.
Yep. Yep. Gonna take a look here at Truth Hope as he comes down, and we'll see if his car goes poof. Look at that front end all tore up there on that 55.
Took a hard hit there.
And
yeah, he's gonna sit in there for a while.
yeah, his car didn't go poof like I anticipated.
He might have to park it, but yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on these other cars too entering, because there was enough damage there, and we've already had a couple instances. Some of these cars, I'm sure, have already used their fast repair.
Yeah, so that 55 4 machine of Lawrence. Just a really bad push coming into the corner. And that just caused Truth Hope to get hooked right up the track.
I wonder, it looks like
Oh, man.
the car behind Chris held up a little bit, not at Truth, and then the car behind him hooked him a little bit, which put him into Truth. I'm not really
Jeez.
quite sure exactly how that started, but
Kirby
just all
Wainscott.
in all, really tight racing. Not a lot of real estate there, and these drivers are just trying to push. Obviously, Truth was the leader. Chris was trying to push him up to the front there.
Yeah.
And then mayhem unfolded.
And Sam Lubers, he was able to get by. Oh, the 15, the Kensley Smith, he was involved here as well.
Yeah, he's got some good damage in that. Looks like Troy Smith there spinning around in the 777 car. Took some big hits as well.
Yeah, I want to ride on board
David
here
Davis.
with the 10 of Kirby Wainscott because, man, he was just a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, his car helicopter, man. He was going for a ride.
And then he's just here minding his own business, and next thing you know, boom, he's getting turned up towards the out. That is such a
At this moment, you're thinking, man, nobody else hit me. Limit the damage, and then he hit the wall a couple good times, especially with his front there. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if he had a fast repair or not, but he is sitting in the pits right now, along with David Davis, Troy Thomas. You got Chris Lawrence still in the pits. Sam Lubers is coming out of the pits. So it looks like he used a fast repair. He didn't have a lot of damage, if any.
Man, the 43 snuck his way through. Let's ride on board here with the 43. And this is just really good heads-up driving. That right there is what we call a strategic 1X.
Yeah.
Meaning,
nice job.
You're getting a 1X versus, 8X.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks like...
So Kirby's going off pit road. His car doesn't look too bad for what it went through, so that tells me, yeah, he used the fast repair there, so he had one to use. Probably doesn't have one now.
Yeah, Truth Hope, he is out. He's
Troy
going to be
Thomas is out as well with a good-looking car. So I think a lot of these drivers that were caught up on it luckily had one to use. David Davis, Chris Lawrence. I think Chris Lawrence had to tow, so he's going to be in there a while. I'm not sure if David Davis towed or not, or if he's just getting work done right now, but tough break.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we still got a very long way to go, and these guys are duking it out like it's the last 5. So these guys really got to get back into that mentality of getting single file. As you see 3 cars coming down pit road to touch up on fuel and or repair damage.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers just haven't had to be really aggressive in pushing, and we're obviously seeing these wrecks come from pushes that get these cars loose, typically going into these turns. So
yeah.
If I'm a driver, I'm noticing that. I'm probably not going to be over aggressive yet pushing, especially going into turns, because it's really upsetting these cars.
Yeah, for sure. He's already got food. Frank Jr. just fed him.
All right, we're half a lap to go. The lights are off the pace truck, meaning once they come back around, we'll be going green flag. We are currently led by the 78 of Richard O and the 57 of Aaron Roth. I believe. Oh, no, Kensley Smith is on the inside there. Oh, nope, he's on the back. He's in third. So, yeah, Richard Ode and Aaron Roth find their way back up to the front line. on the lead lap to lead us off here. So those two drivers, again, finding their way back up to the front, doing a good job to stay there. So we'll see if that can keep up.
Yeah, for sure. Couldn't
Another
agree
driver who's
more.
been up there quite a bit at the second half of this race is Terry Fennell there in the number 50. So he has found his way up there and been able to avoid some of these wrecks and put himself in a position to stay up front. So good to see him there in that 50 Grizzly car.
Yeah, Terry, he definitely has himself an up and down race, and it's just not this race that it's been up and down. It's a good majority of them, but normally at the end, he's usually up front, and if he's not, it's because he got taken out. But we are back green flag here at Talladega. That 57 of Aaron Roth on the outside, and Richard Ode on the inside of that number 78 machine, and they're coming up to full song.
Yeah, it seems like that outside just takes a little bit longer to get going, but it could partly be due to the drivers in the outside instantly diving down because they just rather be on that inside. So it's hard to know really who's getting the better jump yet. But later on in the race, you're going to see drivers just be stacked up regardless. They're not going to dive over the inside. So, but right now it's gaining some momentum and some drivers are popping back up there to give it a push.
Yeah, and it also depends, on how well of a good of a start, that second place driver will get. As you see, Fennell thinking about going 3 wide there, but decided to go ahead and get back behind Aaron Roth. Because if you're not paying attention, you're going to lose that inside lane real quick on a restart. On the start, it's a lot easier because it goes on green. But on the restarts, once you get to that restart zone, the leader can go whenever he wants.
Yeah, real true. And, usually you want to get a good jump, but if you're the leader at a super speedway, you necessarily don't want too big of a jump because then you're going to be hung out to dry and cars behind you are going to get a run and potentially pass you. So it's good to be in the front, but you necessarily don't want a huge jump at a super speedway.
Right. And that's something that I always, I tell everybody, if I'm in a super speedway race, I'm like, and I'm the leader, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going on green. Not before, not after. As soon as it says green, I am on the gas. However, if we're at a track, any other track, I'm going to play mind games in that start box. I'll wait till it goes green. As soon as I get to the box, I'll hit it. I'll wait till the middle of the box, then I'll hit it. I become very unpredictable.
Yeah, that's the key, becoming unpredictable. And sometimes when I'll see a car to my right who, if I'm starting on pole or determining that restart, if they're overly aggressive, I'm going to wait a little bit longer because I know they're going to be jumpy to be on that throttle first thing and try to jump it. So just us also playing, like you said, playing mind games and knowing the tendencies and the mindset of that driver next to you.
Exactly. But before iRacing came out with that, 70-mile-per-hour rule, for the race leader and everything, here at Talladega, because you have to go through the tri-oval just to get there, I would tell them, all right, going up to 90. So that we can get to the start zone quicker.
Yeah.
But then they added
Terry
in that
Fennell
roll.
there, cut to the inside to get around David Davis in that 777 car. I don't know if David Davis has damage or what, but he was just not able to lead that second line. Just felt like a boat anchor to there, unless the 50 just want to get down. But yeah, all the drivers are leaving him out there. I don't know if he's got nose damage or what, but obviously something that's holding his car back, and these cars are back in the single file.
Yep, back in a single file. And right now, Richard Ode in that 78 machine, he's holding strong out front here as we are working lap 110 of 188.
Yeah, 78 laps to go. So, I mean, we're getting to that point of where these drivers will get aggressive, but they know they have a couple pit stops here that they're going to have to make. So, really no reason to get too aggressive right now. But again, it's going to come down, I think, to those pit stops if we can stay green.
Yeah, for sure. And if we are not to stay green, your first car one lap down, believe it or not, is that number 10 of Kirby Wainscott. So he's got a long way to come back, from one lap down, and one
Yeah,
driver.
that tells me I think he had to tow last time, and Clark might
Yes.
make it
Yep.
back around. So he used a fast repair, but he had to tow, which put him a lap down. So yeah, he's in that battle now.
Yep. And Jonathan Stidham, he's finally made his way back onto the one lap down group as well. So right now it's up to Wayne Scott and Stidham to fight it out for the lucky dog. So technically right now we got 2 races in one.
Yeah, and these drivers, usually at this point in the race, these lap down drivers will be a little bit more aggressive to get in front of their same lap down peers to fight for that lucky dog, because that means everything to them. They can get that lap back if they're the lead car.
Oh man, if I'm one lap down, I don't know about you, Brandon, but like I'm always fighting. If I know that there's like 3 of them in front of me, that's my goal.
Oh yeah.
Get in front of them and then stay there.
Yep.
And
If I'm on
then
the
I
lead lap,
settle.
I'm in cruise control at this point. If
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a lap down with other cars, I'm fighting with them, of course, not with the leaders if I can avoid that. But if there's a lap down car up there, I gotta catch them.
That is true. But then in this, then in this kind of racing though, Brandon, it's also kind of hard because you really can't just jump out and make that pass. Now,
yeah, they're kind of stuck where they are right now.
Right. If everybody was like up against the outside wall, you could try to use, that momentum, shoot down to the middle, then back up like you would see in real life. But when they're like this, you can't jump to that outside and get a run without somebody behind you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have some help, and they know that. If they poke their nose out there, they're basically a boat anchor. They're sinking, and there's no choice about it. So right now, they just got to bite the bullet and hope something happens and someone forms a line, and that's when we'll see some drivers move. Well, it looks like somebody in the back there is starting to poke their nose out, and that might be a lap down car.
Yep, the number 9.
Yeah, number 9, a James Foster. So he's trying to get around that 87 of Dodd, I believe.
Yep.
And Dodd's on the lead lap, so that's not somebody I think he's going to fight for with position as far as lucky dog. But Foster is 3 laps down, so I don't think he's really fighting. Just probably get some air. Yeah, it's going to wind up between really, I think, Kirby Wainscott and Jonathan Stidham. Those are the only 2 drivers right now who are a lap down. Behind him, we have Foster 3 laps down, and the 777 of Davis 3 laps as well.
Yep. Now, if I was, James Foster in that number 9, though, I would work, my best to get up with teammate Jonathan Stidham in that 42, who's also part of Run Over Racing, or just Run Over. I don't know if it's like Run Over Racing, but so if there's a way that you can get to the back bumper of your teammate to help him, then that's what I would do.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Countless times I've been a lap down or 2 or 3, and it really comes down to just helping your teammates out. And he
Big run,
number 9, and he did not want to give that up. And the 777 went right with him.
And now he's going to drop down.
777 is. I don't know why the 9 hasn't yet, unless he's just going to let those other drivers battle it out.
Yeah, he should drop down. There he goes. Now, if he could help that 42 machine get a run just like that, that might be able to propel Stidham in front of Wayne Scott. But right now, that 42, he's got to back up to the front bumper of that 9 machine to make it happen. And as of right now, they're just sitting single file.
Yeah, that number 9 and number 42, Foster and Stidham. They are working together. They can catch up to the 21 of Robert Morris or the 57 Aaron Roth. They'll be working together as well. So those four are definitely a pack, and they'll help each other out.
Yeah, for sure.
All part of Runover Racing, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so far everybody's single file here on lap 117 of 188. You know, let's touch up here on some of your race stuff that you guys have missed if you're just now joining us. We've already had, I believe it was 4 cautions. The last caution happened roughly 15 or 10 to 15 laps ago when Truth Hope got turned up in turn number 3, and that triggered a massive, maybe a good 10 car incident up in turns 3 and 4. We have had roughly 6 different lead changes, maybe 7 lead changes today, amongst, I believe it was like 5 different drivers for the moment. But yeah, these guys just now single file here, trying to get closer to the finish.
Yeah, things have calmed down a little bit. I think the storm cloud has gone away, but we all know that the biggest storm cloud is at the end of the race. So right now, these drivers, I think, are just trying to keep their cars where they are in its physical condition to make sure they're there at the end.
Yeah, I think Stidham gonna come back a little bit here because it shows that he entered.
Came off a pit road, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was trying to come down into pits, overshot. No.
That's just it's abnormal just because he pitted by himself. He's got nobody to help draft with, so I'm not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop. I assume it wasn't. Maybe something was wrong. Yeah, he had a little hard handling there coming in, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but that's going to put him back to 2 laps down. I'm sure
he's the one fighting with Wayne Scott for that lucky dog. So
yeah.
I don't think he wanted to do that, but nevertheless, that makes Kirby breathe a little fresh air. He does not have to battle really with anybody. He's just battling himself to make sure that he stays out of harm's way and doesn't get any contact if a caution does come out.
Yeah, I think Stidham was hopefully banking on one more caution, but that caution never came. So he had no choice but to come down. Let's see, when did your race leaders come in? Back on lap 103.
Yeah, so about lap 142, about 140, you'll probably see some cars start to come down. Between 140 and 143 is when we'll see them pit.
Yeah, so we're just roughly halfway through the fuel run now, so. A lot of cars are weaving back there.
Yeah. I don't know if they're just getting upset with their car a little bit with the arrow, or they're thinking about popping out and making that second line yet, but we'll see.
Well, we do got a couple cars trying it out on the outside.
These leaders don't have faith in it yet. That's why you're not going to see any of these cars up front pop out yet. They're going to have to see a little bit more. Usually you can tell they're kind of riding that fringe of, do I go up there, do I not? But I don't see any cars doing that up front yet.
I'm curious to see if that 18 of Blake Veakin, he's going to jump up. If not, at least Ryan Warp might in that 45. But no, as of right now, they're all staying down on that inside lane. So that's a little bit out of the on ordinary for one of those drivers not to pop up like that. And oh my god, I just realized who's in fourth place. That number 92 machine from driver that Shaco
Yeah, Timothy.
LLC, Timothy Eisburn.
Yeah, Timothy's done a good job of get back up there when it counted. So, and we've seen this from him in recent races. I know he had some struggles earlier on, getting caught up in things and this and that. He was a little frustrated. You could hear over the radio, but man, he kept at it, kept his foot down, and there he is, running 4.
Yeah, that's definitely something I like to see out of Tim. You know, he's just had such bad luck, you know, just always getting caught up in other people's mess. I know that a couple of them was his doing, but for the most part, he can't catch a break, and just seeing him out front it makes me happy.
Yeah, it's good to see that determination and that perseverance pay off, especially in long races like this. Now that 57 of Aaron Ross, so he's trying to make his way up there, but that 9, that lap down car, Foster, wasn't quite on the bumper. Now he is. You can see the 777 earlier kind of pushing him up in there and saying, let's go, let's go. So now he is riding the bumper of that 57, and we'll see if they can make some headway and probably take the lead here if they can.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before they get a good run on that outside that will make it, you know, big enough for them
loose
too.
Up there a little bit. That's some tight pushing in the turn there, just because that number 9's wobbling a little bit, but he's doing a good job so far. Sometimes you'll see that 777 come up and also push the 9. Now that's where I hold my breath, because once he's pushing the number 9, and that might push him into the 57 when it's not such an opportune time. So they really have to be careful about that. If you're that third car in line, that second car necessarily doesn't like those pushes. They don't appreciate that, but you know, he's just trying to get the speed obviously there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the things with these with this version of this cup car is at super speedways you have to push the pusher. And when I say that, if you're the third car in line, you need to make sure that you're on the back bumper of the car in front of you, and they need to make sure they're on the bumper of the leader. Because for some odd reason, doing it that way in these cars, it makes you go so much faster. But if you were to try to do it in like the Xfinity, or I'm sorry, the O'Reilly car or the Craftsman truck, forget it. It doesn't work. But for some odd reason, it just works with these cars.
Yeah, for sure. Because if you're that, for example, that number 9 car, he needs that 777 car to be right up on his back bumper, or else he's getting all that air is hitting his spoiler and just pushing that rear end of that car into the ground. So it's hard for him to get pushes on the 57. So if he could take that air off of that rear spoiler, it's good. However, the 9 really doesn't want the 777 to push him, and as you can see, the 777 is diving down there to take that inside lane, and that top lane did the same thing with their run. But yeah, that's a hairy position to be in. Now, if you're late in the race, yeah, that third car is probably going to push the second car, especially with the last 2 laps. You'll see that a lot. But at this point in the race, it's really just that second car doing the pushing mostly.
And they lost that 21 of Robert Morris, and now he's dropping to the back of this field after helping those 2 drivers get to the front. And that's also a very, you know, upsetting feeling as well. You know, I worked my butt off to get you up there, and then you do that to me.
Yeah, I've been there before. Woo! And that's tough if you don't have, I mean, as the 21, I think the 21 is, oh, he is on the lead lap more. So yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, he just dropped all the way to the back.
But lots of racing left still, so he's got no reason to panic right now. But that 57 of Aaron Ross, so he's in a really comfortable position because he's leading the race, and the 2 cars behind him are both a lap down. So Richard Ode is the 4th car in line. He's in 2nd place. So the 57 has a really nice buffer right now.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see if James Foster and David Davis are going to make a run here on your race leader to try to get their laps back. while we're under this single file green flag race at the moment, and the nickname for this back stretch is the Alabama Gang back straightaway. How much do you know about the Alabama Gang?
I don't know about the Alabama Gang, actually.
You don't know about the Alabama Gang?
This is news to me.
All right. So, the Alabama Gang, they were a dominant group of drivers, primarily Bobby Allison, Davey Allison, and Red Farmer, who relocated actually here to Florida from Hueytown, Alabama. They dominated almost all the short tracks, not only here in Florida, but over in Alabama for the majority of their careers. And they got the nickname from Jack Ingram because the trio always rode together to all the races. And on one of the race nights when they were heading to the track, Jack Ingram said, "Oh no, here comes that damn Alabama gang again." And so with all three of those drivers having multiple wins here at Talladega, they nicknamed the back straightaway the the Alabama Gang straightaway.
Interesting. All it takes is one person to make a comment about a name, and there it sticks.
Yep.
Interesting. That's really cool.
Yep. And I don't want to give out the wrong name.
You know who holds the record for the most NASCAR Cup Series wins at Talladega? At 10?
At 10?
10 wins. For the Cup Series.
I want to say... either Earnhardt or Allison. Bob,
it is the Dale Earnhardt.
Dale?
Yeah, good old Dale. Dale Sr.
Nice. All right. So here's another... here's another fun trivia about this track. As we see that 78 of Richard Ode making his way around the lap car to get closer to your race leader. Back in 1969, Bobby Allison was in the middle of a race, one of the 500-mile races here at Talladega.
And this track was built in 69, so that might have been the first race.
Was it 69 or was it?
Yeah. The track was built in 69.
Yeah. Okay, so it might have been within like the first 5 years of it. They were in the middle of the race, and maybe like 15, 20 laps into it, he just pulled off the track, pulled it to the garage and said, "I'm not going back out." And everybody was like, "What's going on? Why won't you go back out?" And he's like, "Because something's not right. Something big's going to happen." And so he pretty much retired out of the race. And maybe like 20 laps later, a really big crash happened right around the spot where he was. And
good call.
Yeah. And he said somebody that sounded like more of like a Indian guy, like a tribe member Indian, told him to get off the track. Well, another fun fact, this track was built on an Indian burial ground. Well, not on it,
I've heard that as well.
but right next to one.
Right. I think it was originally an airfield, and then there was
Yeah.
legend has it that it was a Indian burial ground. But Talladega has a rich history. That's for one thing, and
Yes.
it does have its history of tomfoolery as well. So in '86, before a race, some fan found the opportunity to actually steal the pace car for the Cup race and went for a little joyride.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were apprehended and the pace car was not damaged, and the race went on. But that's one thing. I know a lot of people who end up coming to these races and they rave about the camping. The camping
Yeah.
is just one that's almost an experience in itself. And I can only imagine that
Yeah.
that person probably came from the campground feeling a little different than when they arrived at the track, and gave them the encouragement to steal that pace car. But nevertheless, pace car wasn't damaged. I'm sure that driver regretted it later, or that fan, I guess we can say.
Well, I'm sure they had a lot of time to think about it.
Assume he didn't hit a wall though.
Probably the only wall he hit was the one in the jail cell.
That's true.
But yeah, a lot of interesting things have happened here at Talladega. Some really big crashes. Some
really close finishes too.
Yeah.
I know it held the record for. I don't know if that's true or not anymore. I think it might have been broken last season. I can't remember the track.
Two seasons ago over in
Kansas,
I think, yeah.
Or somewhere around there. But it was 0.02 of a second was the record held for a long time here as the closest finish in NASCAR.
And man, let me tell you what. I think it might have been the one with Kyle Busch.
Kyle Larson, I think.
Yeah, Kyle Larson.
Won that race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the right one.
Yeah. Because they were 3 wide when they came across the line.
Yep.
Who was the other?
Suarez,
yep. So Busch, Suarez, and Larson. 3 wide, 0.001 across
I think the
line.
finish was with Suarez. Suarez, I think, got second. Yeah, that took the cake for the closest finish, and I believe I actually have that car, a model of that car, and I got it for that specific reason.
Nice. Let me jump here to YumiTube. Let's see if we have anybody here talking in chat. Kind of neglected chat a little bit here. Guinea 96 Pig says, "Let's go, Alex," number 43. I don't know if it's...
All right, we got some pits going on here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the 57 of Aaron Roth, who is leading for quite a bit there, he's coming down with 3 other cars behind him. Coming in a little hot, but it looks like everybody's going to get it slowed up. So that's a good pit cycle. You got 4 cars really hand in hand with each other.
Yeah, James Foster was making sure he did not speed on pit road. He let everybody else go in front, because he was the second car to start making his way down in the pits, and he's the last one to get to the pit line. So he was like, "I'm not getting a penalty here."
Yeah, for sure. And that really, I mean, these drivers came out of different spots, so it really put some gaps in this single file line here, which is only going to slow them up. So that's going to help those drivers that just pitted.
Yeah.
So one early stop by 4 drivers. These other drivers are going to just try to go a little bit more, push it a little bit further. But we're approaching that lap where they're not going to have a choice here. So I would assume in the next lap to 2 laps, we're going to see all these drivers come down.
Hey, hang on, Brandon. I'm fighting with a 7-year-old at the moment.
No problem. That'll happen sometimes.
No, I'm giving him a hard time because I heard some banging through my headphones, and he goes, "It was me." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't," and I'm like, "Well, why'd you do that?" He goes, "I'm bored." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't give you a reason to be banging on things." He goes,
"Oh man."
He goes, it wasn't that loud. I'm like, Frank Jr., I heard it over my head in my headphones. And he's like, no, you didn't. Oh, man, yes, I did, okay?
No, you didn't.
Paulo, is it Paulo and Anacito? He says, let's go Warp and Beacon.
Well, they're doing good, 5 and 6, so a lot to cheer about there.
Oh yeah. These are two teammates in themselves.
Yeah, 45. Now the 45's been up there, but the 18 has literally been glued to him, either in the front or the back the whole time. So, yeah, doing really good, those two drivers.
Yeah, Blake Beacon, he is a quote-unquote a family member for Ryan Warp's race team. So, I really need to make sure I get everybody all up to date on their race teams.
Yeah, you see two drivers like that in the front, you know they're going to be working together. So if someone goes up, they're going up with them. So you'll see cars go in packs, usually making these moves as we enter the last stage of this race. And obviously those two up there in the front, Smith and Teft, who are still staying out. We're on lap 142, so some of these drivers really being able to save fuel while in that draft. Not having to quite pit yet.
Yeah, for sure. As we take a look here at Richard Ode.
Pushing my expectations for sure.
Ain't that the truth? I really didn't.
And you know what? We may have seen some of them, you know, saving fuel, because it's really gonna, if they can push it to about 40, obviously 43 laps left, then they're only gonna have to make that one more stop. Some of these drivers who came down a little bit earlier, obviously probably didn't want to, but they did save enough fuel to push it into one more pit stop. But as you know, if we have a caution, that's going to change everything.
Oh, of course. Oh, looks like we've got who was that?
That was the 777 of David Davis there.
Yep. Oops.
That front pack that we saw earlier, we pitted about 4 laps, or 4 cars that pitted a few laps ago. They are about a quarter of a turn, or half a turn in front of the lead pack right now. So they are on pace to really be just a little bit behind or right up in par with those front leaders once they pit. Got Kensley Smith going down. He is way off of pace. I don't know if he blew a motor or what, but I don't see any smoke. Maybe he ran out of fuel.
That's right on board. Yep, he's out of fuel.
He is out of fuel. That's going to hurt him. He might have the momentum to get to the pit, and he might not. He might have to tow. Just depends on where his pit spot is. It looks like he'll get in there. So lucky for him to get in there in the pit, but that's going to hurt his momentum. It's going to hurt his spot, but he's going to most likely come out with nobody to help him. He's definitely a car that's not going to take tires right now. Yeah, just burn up a little too much fuel. He was the car leading that pack there the last few laps, so
Yeah.
that can really change your fuel prediction as far as how many laps you have left.
Yeah.
And you got the leader, Ryan Warp, who is scheduled to pit this lap around. And I'm assuming Blake and then 18 car will go with him.
That's gonna put these drivers right there on the edge of 40 laps to go.
Yeah, as long as they're staying in the draft, they'll be fine. So it just tells you these drivers who are pitting now, they necessarily don't want to lead the race. They'd rather be at a fuel saving mode so they don't have to come back down the pit. So some strategies playing out here as we enter the late stage of this race.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers did a good job saving fuel, and you can tell, like Kensley running out there, they're just pushing it as far as they can so they don't have to make another pit stop.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Trevor Fetzig now in that 7-Eleven machine. He's going to be all by himself when he comes down.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Yeah, there's really two main packs right now on the track, so if you don't get hooked up with one of them, you're going to suffer.
Alright, here comes Fetzig. Beautiful. Alright, so this should turn the race back over to Aaron Roth in that 57 and Richard Ode in the 78.
Yeah, right back up front. That puts 7 cars on the lead pack. They'll have room to battle. I wouldn't be surprised even with 7 cars to be 3 wide once we get to the end of this race here if it stays green. The last thing you want to do is be trapped on the inside and get stuck against somebody on those last 3 laps.
Time's ticking away. While they are single file here, I'm going to step away real quick, top up my coffee.
Sounds like a plan. I think we're going to have a good race in these last few laps here.
Oh yeah, and I don't want to miss it.
Got the 21 of Robert Morris leading that second pack. So I'm keeping an eye on those relatives. They're slowly losing that front pack, and that's only because that second pack, I think, only has 3 cars currently. They're going to need more than that to try to get the momentum to catch that front pack. So one of 2 things is going to have to happen. Either they get more cars eventually in that second pack and they're able to catch up before too much time is gone, or they're going to need caution. But either way, one of those 2 things is going to have to happen to catch that front pack.
Right. Give me one moment. I'll be right back.
That was close.
Alrighty, I am back. I apologize about that.
That's all right. We were just watching. Stidham really cut down in front there. It was a close call, but no harm, no foul. We're still racing straight.
Yeah, Stidham's trying to get one of his laps back here as we are quickly approaching the 30 to go mark.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Roth really invites him there because that'll help Aaron save some fuel as well. So I don't think he minds that. And their teammates, I believe, so there's also that goes into play.
Yeah, for sure. And talking about teammates, I would like to give a very special shout out to Epic Fail Motorsports driver Jacob Klein. He ended up just winning the top split NIS race this morning. So that is a very, very huge accomplishment for him. For it being, top split at a super speedway. That's a tough feat right there in itself. And, I mean, he's racing guys, in top split, of like, God, he's had Carson Hocevar. He's had, Raja Karuf. He's had him in races before. And, I mean, he's racing against some of those top guys, and he was finally able to sneak out a win at Talladega today. So, really, really huge congrats to him.
Yeah, that's huge. Good company there.
Oh, yeah. But, back to this virtual Talladega. Aaron Roth, he's currently trying to hold off the rest of the field to get his second race win of the season.
Not sure.
Well, guess what? We're going to take a look at the standings and find out. Hey, you know what? I'll even do you guys one better. Okay.
I just noticed the 42 Jonathan Stetta's paint job is the 1996 NASCAR racing game.
Yep.
That's a nice throwback right there. What a way we've come.
Yeah. Alright, let me see here. Sunday.
Oh, Richard O going to the outside, getting into the rear quarter of the 57, going to slow him up a little bit, but I don't think he's going to have a momentum to get around Jonathan Stidham up there. So he's going to look to cut back down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very close, tight racing here in the closing laps. And, I mean, we've only got, right now we've got 5 cars up here in this lead pack. And that's going to be Aaron Roth, Richard O, Alex Teft, Sam Lewers, and Timothy Eisburn. And then about 10 seconds back, you've got that 21 of Robert Morris and Kensley Smith, Ryan Warp, and Blake Beacon. Oh, Trevor Fetchig, he's back there as well. I think so.
Yeah, looking at the relatives, so that backpack has started to make ground. They were at about 11 seconds before. They're just under 9 now. They're going to have to make a little bit more ground than that if they want to catch him in 27 laps. But at least they're going in the right direction.
Yep. Yeah, 27 laps. It's at this point in the race, 27 laps is still a long time, but as a driver that's trying to catch the front pack, it's like it's a very, very long time at the same time.
Oh, very long. And I think they're making, around a half a second gain right now, if that. And they just dropped there a little bit. Something must have happened to that second pack. But yeah, they're going to have to, most likely, time is running out for that strategy. They're going to have to hope for a caution.
We got that 9 machine still trying to fight to get one of his laps back.
Yeah, currently 4 laps down. So we have 3 cars now with 1 lap down. 2 cars have joined Kirby Wainscott in that pool. So we have Kirby, Terry Fennell, as well as the 87 of, who's that, Dodd?
Yes.
Yeah, so all 3 of those cars now are fighting for that lucky dog. So that's another race we got going on.
Yep. And I just realized that Kensley Smith, he is down on pit road.
Yeah, seems to be an unscheduled stop for him.
Yeah, and he also has a penalty for probably speeding in the pits.
Oh, and we got 57 of Aaron Roth going around. That's going to be a tough one.
Well, that changes.
And that was his teammate, too. So
everything.
Completely, obviously, unintentional. Just, again, got off center on a push, and the 42 sent the 57 of Roth spinning.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we saw Stidham out there in the lead. I think the reason he didn't was he was losing too much fuel. He was going to have to pit towards the end. So being the first car a lap down, he would have got the lucky dog in that position had a caution come out.
Right.
But since he made contact with the 57, I don't know if it's going to give it to him.
Should go to the next highest.
Yeah, I'm sure Jonathan's sick about that one. Didn't mean to do that, especially to his teammate there, Lee. Tough spot to be in.
Yeah.
And that 57 has been running strong this whole second half of the race. But the good news is he didn't have enough damage where he would have to tow, so he can get back around. We don't know if he still has the fast repair or not, but still a decent amount of racing to go with a field on the lead lap of not a whole lot. About 9 cars on the lead lap. So, I mean, he's not going to be too far back with about 20 to go once we go green.
Where's that at? We should be lining up here for 2 to go, Brandon. And when we take the green flag, we should have 10 laps to go? No, 20 to go.
About 20. About 20 to go, yeah. So this is where, you know, it bunches everybody up too that's on the lead lap, which is good for an exciting ending. But it's definitely going to push. I mean, these 20 laps to go, these drivers, I think, are going to go 2 wide, probably 3 wide with about 10 or so to go because they're just fighting for those positions. If you get trapped on the inside where you're behind somebody and then someone's to the right, you're just sitting there. You're going to have to eat that position. So these drivers necessarily don't want to be in that position, so you're going to see them push farther and farther out. Looks like we're going to have, Kirby got his lap back there, so we're going to have 12 cars on the lead lap, which is a good number of cars to be on the lead lap, especially with a race this long, a full length 188 lap race with 20 cars to start. So 87 of Dodd is in a good position. He is the only car 1 lap down. So as long as he can stay clear of any kind of chaos, any kind of damage, and a caution comes out, he should also be on the lead lap as well. And then we have Stidham and Davis 2 laps down, Foster 3, and Smith still in pit road. Not sure what happened to him, but it looks like he's out of the race. All right, pace car makes its turn off. Trevor Fettig in the 7-11 car is going to take the green flag. And we are green flag racing. That top line has fizzled quick. Alex Steff, the only one up there, left with no help. Looks like Eisburn ducked low really quick, and Alex says, yeah, I'm not going to be the only one up there, so he ducks in front of Eisburn. Everybody single file as far as up in front. It's really good to get single file at this point because then they can generate some runs and then pop out if they have somebody to help them and have some speed and take that momentum in the second lane. But yeah, with 20 to go, they have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm actually very impressed to see Trevor Fettig in that 7-11 machine out front leading this pack here with 19 laps to go here at Talladega.
Yeah, if I remember right, on our last really long green flag run, he was one of the last cars to pit, and I thought, man, that's a tough position because he was pitting alone, but man, his strategy has paid out. He found himself back up here on the lead lap, and I guess where he's always been, but he found himself in the P1.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I don't see Trevor Fettig. I was wondering if he was working with any drivers. I don't see him in voice chat with anybody, so kind of a concern for that because I don't know if anybody's going to go with him if he decides to change lanes, this and that. So at this position, when you're leading and you're not in communication with any other drivers, you're really just playing off of what they do behind you, trying to play both lanes once a second lane gets up there and potentially a third. So Trevor Fettig, good position right now. But hopefully get some help here these last few laps.
man, I'm getting anxious over here.
Yeah, that second file, that second line is starting to make this charge towards the front, led by that 18 of Blake Viking. '21's doing a pretty good job. Look, Morris pushing him. Oh, and we are spinning around, and we got some big damage here.
Ooh. Timothy Eisman hard into the outside
hard
wall.
into the wall. And I don't think he has a fast repair to give.
No. Sam Luber's in the 16 involved here as well. Blake Viken, Terry Fennell was not involved. Let's go back here and see what happened.
It looks like the 18 and Eisberg maybe got up a little bit off of that bottom lane and just send the 18 around. If that is Eisberg. Yeah, 72 just, or that 92 just got a little bit high. Right on that white line, and the 18 was right there too, so just a bad break.
Yeah.
So when there's a caution, there's usually a lucky dog.
Yes.
Preliminary reports seems that the lucky dog will go to Eric Dodd. He'll be getting his lap back and joining these racers on the lead lap for that podium finish. Yeah, we got a lot of drivers going in pit road. At least 6 of them, so that's a good amount of this current pack we had. 7, I believe, total. Yeah, Eisburn's going to be in there a while, it looks like. Stan Lubers, I'm not sure exactly how much damage. He's got some fenders crinkled, so he'll be in there. But I'll tell you one driver who was happy to see that. Terry Fennell. I believe he was behind in the pack, and that's why he came up later and was able to avoid all that. So he's going to be back up with those leaders. Not sure exactly what happened to him for him to lose the draft in the pack, but nevertheless, he's happy to be back up there. Not much has changed with our leaders either. Still have Trevor Fettig in that 7-Eleven car. He's going to lead us once we go to green. Richard Ode right behind him in that 78, who's been up there, and Alex F2 has been knocking on the door this whole time in our podium positions currently. So lap 173, be on about lap 175. That'll push us to about 13 laps to go once we go green. And ladies and gentlemen, we know once we hit that point, it's really all aggression at that point. They're going to be pushing it to 2 to 3 wide, trying to make these passes, put themselves into a position so that in those last lap, they can get the momentum and stick their nose out there to cross the line first. So it's all going to boil down to that. Just about all our cars are caught up now in this pack. We have the 11th and 12th car making their way around turn 2. Gonna catch this pack in time. Lights are off on the pace car. We are about a quarter of a lap away from going green here.
Yeah, sorry about that, Brandon. Something popped up in head, and
No worries.
I'm trying to deal with 5 different things at once at the moment. But we're gonna get finished out this
Nice
race,
and calm
man.
right now. We're just waiting for that green flag to drop. But man, once it does, it is on. I know some of these drivers who are in the back here have been used to being up front, so they're going to be eager to jump back up there. You know, like the 45 there of Ryan Warp, I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to push it, maybe go in that third lane to get back up there because he's been running strong all day.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's got his teammate there in the 18 of Blake Viken. I mean, he's right there close by. So if they can get linked up, those are 2 cars that are going to help each other get up to the front. And here we are, green flag race in that 7-Eleven of Trevor Fettig leading us off. And we are seeing a good jump this time. Well, not too bad from that outside lane, but they still can't get as organized as that inside lane, so that's going to make them suffer now. But coming out of turn 2, they could really have the momentum. And as you can see, Jonathan Stidham is going to push that third lane. He didn't want to stop his momentum, but he has no help up there.
Yeah, Stidham, he is still 2 laps down, so it's not doing him any good trying to make any sort of moves on your race leaders at this point. And unfortunately, at this point in the race, he's pretty much SOL on getting any of his laps back. I mean, he could possibly get one, but with Dodd in that 87 being the first car 1 lap down, because if Dodd gets around any incident, he is going to get back on the lead lap.
That's true. That's what he's hoping for. And don't look now, but that 21-57, those are teammates leading that outside lane. They have some good momentum. If they could keep it going off of this back stretch, they're making good time on that leader.
Yeah, definitely making a really good time on Trevor Fetzig. And if I'm not mistaken, Trevor Fetzig, he is looking for his first win here, I believe.
Good to see some first-timers up there in the front battling for that first win.
Yeah.
That really gets your adrenaline going, too.
And that is true.
Sure, his heart rate's up just a little bit.
Just a little bit? I don't know about that.
Usually when you're that first-place car, though, and you're under 10, you're looking more in the rearview mirror than you are the front because you're waiting on someone to make a move and then, you know, you potentially going up and blocking a lane or blocking a lane that's making more momentum than you. So lots of different things to watch for if you're these drivers up front.
Let me take a look here.
Richard Oates stuck up there, so now he's leading that top line. Currently in third, trying to side draft off the 43 of Alex Teft. And he's going to successfully do that, bog that inside line down a little bit. Nobody with the potential to go up to 3 wide quite yet. They don't see it worth it. That could change in the blink of an eye with 10 laps to go.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Tepp pushing that 7-Eleven of Trevor Fettig really good, even in those turns. He's giving it all. And again, we have those teammates, second and third spot on that top line. Richard Ode just not quite keep it steady enough for that 21 to get a good push. I think if he could keep it steady and then that 57 could catch up to that bumper, it could even really get that second line going more to potentially have those guys up front pass and then drop down. And I know that's what Kirby wants because Kirby's just waiting there. Got big momentum out of that top line. So as you can see, Richard Ode, he's going to drop down, take the lead on that inside lane, but that's not going to stop the momentum from that top line. And that top line is still coming. 57 get a little impatient, so he's going to try to push it 3 wide.
The 18, he says,
18,
I'm going to bail.
Yeah, these guys are fighting for every piece right now. We are 4 wide at this point.
Absolute madness behind your race leader of Richard Ode, who's doing
20. Ooh, the 21 almost took the 45. Just almost clipped his rear fender. There was absolutely not a half an inch to give there. It is tight race, and these guys are giving nothing up for grabs.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, we're starting to see that third car in line now push. That 45 is pushing the 18, who's also pushing the 10. So they're saying, man, we got to generate more momentum somehow, because what we're doing is not working. So that will generate more momentum, but that also increases the risk factor of turning that guy in front of you. So
right. Yeah, what?
Obviously more gambles here with 8 laps to go, 7 laps.
Yeah, but look who is out front now. That number 10, Kirby Wainscott, in his KFC Toyota. He took
Kirby
over
has made his way back up.
Yeah, Kirby is up front, followed by Blake Veekin in that number 18.
Yeah, Blake followed him right back up there. He weaved his way because he was about 7th or so to start when we started that restart. Looking for his teammate. Aaron Roth, his teammate, the 57 is an 8. So if he can find a way back up there, those two can really work together. Maybe it's Ryan Warp in the 45 who I'm thinking of, his teammate. So those two are 2 and 3. So that's something you got to look out for. If you're one of these drivers out there, you know they're going to work together and help each other. In a great position to do that.
Right. And 5 laps to go. Things are starting to get heated up. We got 3 wide action in the back of the field. We got Kirby Wainscott, who almost went upside down just about 25 laps ago. He's back out front. Blake Veekin in the 18. He's now making himself known once again here in the top 3. And here comes Trevor Fetzig in that 7-Eleven machine. He's looking for a strong top 5 finish here today at Talladega.
Yeah, Trevor has stayed on that bottom line, and that top line has just had runs, and those drivers have dropped down in front of him. But he's still got plenty of time. There's nobody on anybody's outside, so anybody can go up and form that second line, which it will happen.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time. Who is going to make the move? When are they going to make the move? That's the ultimate question. I have one driver in mind. Well, really 2 drivers in mind that I wouldn't mind seeing winning this. But I'm not going to say who it is until after the checker flag.
Yeah, we don't want to do the old curse. However, last time I did that, it was Curtis Ecker at Martinsville, and he won. So I'm 1 for 1 right now, but I'm not going to push it. Not at a super speedway. I don't mess around with super speedways. I call them super for a reason.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man.
Well, we are inside of 3 laps to go. The Colonel is still out in the lead, but he's got some hungry drivers behind him now. There is a little bit of a gap. Those first 3 cars have about a 3-car length gap. They could catch up any time, Richard Ode in behind them, but the advantage of this, of what Richard Ode is doing, he could catch up to them with a lot of momentum and then cut out into that outside line and hopefully maintain that momentum. Maybe that's what his plan is. We'll see here. No, it looks like he's going to stay put, and probably because he doesn't have much help out there. Trevor Fettig, that 7-11 is a few car lengths behind, or Troy Thomas it was. Really nothing joining there. Nothing going on in that outside line. But we are into 2 laps to go, so I'm surprised all these drivers are still single file, partly because it's a smaller field up front, but these drivers aren't going to stay that way in about a half a lap.
No, and don't be surprised if they decide to go ahead and jump it out now up here into turn number 3 or even coming out of turn number 4. So
yeah, you can get really good runs coming out of 4 here.
Yep.
So
just like you can.
Somebody's thinking it.
Yeah, just like you're saying now out of that 18, you know, he could easily pull up now and bring Ryan Warp in that 45 with him, but it's going to be very interesting to see who Ryan would work with here as we come to the white flag here presented by SDK Gaming as they climb into the bakings for the final
here it is,
time.
Richard Ode starting right outside with Trevor Fettig.
Yep, Richard Ode in that 78 machine. He's looking for the run.
I think 18's going to go up there with him. And yep,
big
Kirby's
blocks.
trying to block it.
Big
Kirby
blocks.
Says, no, thank you. I'll take it. And now,
oh, get back
Kirby's
down.
Cut back to the outside, but I think the 18's got the momentum. He's got him
yes.
Is he going to stay in the outside lane, though? That's where the momentum is. Alex, cut down to the inside. He's got the momentum on him. He's going to take the inside. The 18 squeezes down. He doesn't want to lose anymore, and he's going to try to pop back up.
No! The 18 into the outside wall.
Into the wall. Lost the momentum. Kirby is cutting the track. Can Kirby hold it? No! The 45!
Woo! The 45
crosses
around.
The line halfway sideways. I think the 45 got it. I'm not sure who else got it behind him.
I am showing Ryan Warp, Trevor Fettig, and Kirby Wainscott is your top 3 here.
What a finish.
Wow.
That's a classic Talladega finish. I think we had, I don't know, 4 or 5 lead changes there just in the last lap.
Something like that. But we're definitely going to come back here and take a look here at the checkered flag for sure. Let me back it up just a tad here, because multiple things happened here that I want to touch up on here real quick.
This is classic super speedway racing in the last lap here. Everybody fighting for it.
All right.
Yeah, and that just killed the 43 momentum.
Yeah.
Contact there. Got him a little sideways. That's all it takes.
All right, come on now. Let's hit the play button. All right. Coming out of turn number 4. Back a little more. So Kirby came up to try to block the 18, but he was not clear. And then he comes down and runs the 10. No. That was Alex Seft. I'm sorry.
Alex Seft was in front of the 18.
Yeah.
It looks like, I'm looking at that.
Yeah, and then
a little bit of net code there. The 18 had the Alex cleared there, and the net code turned Alex a little bit, which turned it up in front of the 18, and then so forth. So it was really tight racing. There was space between the cars there, but yeah, just a bad turn of events.
Got you. Yeah, so I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, little netcode started it because they had a few inches to give there, but nonetheless.
And then coming.
Kirby just trying to side draft the 45. I don't blame him. the last minute there, but too much momentum on that 45 car. Nice job avoiding that chaos on that last turn.
Oh, I know I have.
And that's really where you have it there. First, second, third. And good finish by Trevor Fettig in that 7-Eleven to take P2.
Right there. Hang on. Let me make this a little bit bigger. That right there was the difference, ladies and gentlemen. And the 45 lost it as he came across the line. Again, not by his choice, but yeah.
Exciting.
Very exciting.
I'll take that for a Talladega finish.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Alrighty, and before we talk with our top three, let's go ahead and take a look here at our race results. Powered by Collateral Damage Sports Network. Again, this is one of the overlays that Shane Cochran has created. And let me tell you what, it is actually such a... Whoops. Alright, where'd you go? Alright, so that logo I just took away is part of this. But ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here today is going to be Ryan Warp, driver that number 45 machine, followed by Trevor Fettig, Kirby Wainscott. He'll come home third. Fourth is Troy Thomas. Fifth, Alex Teft. Terry Fennell will come home sixth. Seventh, Robert Morris. Christopher Ode will come home eighth. Aaron Roth ninth. And Sam Lubers coming home 10th. And 11th, you got Blake Beacon, followed by Eric Dodd, Timothy Eisburn, Jonathan Stidham, and James Foster will round out your top 15. 16th is going to be David Davis, Kensley Smith, 17th. 18th, Truth Hope. 19th, Chris Lawrence. And 20th is going to be Cody Benelli to round out your field of 20 here today. Your heart charger of the day is going to be Trevor Fettig in that 7-Eleven machine, coming home second after moving up 17 spots. Kirby Wainscott led the most laps. Ryan Warp had the fastest lap. He was also your pole sitter for today. We did go the total distance of 188 laps, just shy of 500 miles. We did have 13 different lead changes and a total of 6 cautions. All around, what a fantastic day for all of these drivers. And, well, before we call it a day, let's go talk to them. How does that sound?
Yeah, let's get them up here.
Alrighty, where is... Alright, I know you're up here. There you is.
Looks like all three in the waiting room there. There we go.
Beautiful. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and bring up a driver of that number 10 machine. Finishing third here today, Kirby Wainscott. Kirby, it's Mike and Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Kirby, you started third, finished third. You were almost upside down. You were in the back backwards. You worked your way up, fell back, worked your way up again. Man, Talladega in itself is just a very emotional ride. What was it like today behind the wheel of that KFC number 10?
Extremely eventful. That was an interesting race. I think I started up front, was running up front, and then unfortunately the first caution was on me, wrecking my own teammate. I'm gonna probably hear about that one for a while, but yeah, and then I worked my way back up to the front, got spun, worked my way back up to the front, got spun, And then unfortunately I had to tow on the last one, so I got myself a lap down, and thankfully I got a second or a third, fourth chance to get back up there and race, and ended up squeaking out a P3.
Yeah, that's just a very incredible run overall for you. Um, you just had me speechless, of what you can do out here, especially with Kensley Smith. But uh, Brandon, do you have any questions or anything for your third place driver?
I just got to say, I think you defined perseverance out there. Like you said, you just went up to the front and back, up to the front, back. A lot of things happened that could have got you upset, frustrated, either with yourself or the other drivers, but you kept at it and you came out with a podium finish. So, way to go.
Yeah, it's a few different emotions. Wrecking your teammates not good, so I felt pretty crappy about that. And then get spun out in the lead, that sucked. And then getting wrecked again, going when I got back to the lead sucked. But I mean, this is super speedway racing. You're gonna have your ups and downs. You're never out of it till you're out of it. So, but yeah, that last run, I had a feeling I was a sitting duck there with about 3 or 4 laps to go. I didn't have Alex with me. Kinsley had blown up, so. And then there on that last lap, the 18 and Alex got together. I wasn't sure if I was clear to come back up or not. I might have had a gap to get back in front of the 45, but I didn't want to risk it and cause another big one there at the line. So, but yeah, but definitely congratulations to Ryan and Trevor. They did a great job.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's anybody you would like to give a shout out to? I'm sorry.
Yeah, give a shout out to my 2 teammates in the race tonight. The boss man was out getting a new pupper, so it was just me and Alex technically on chicken coop, and then we had Kinsley in there with us helping us out. And give a shout out to them. Give a shout out to Kinsley for designing the KFC chicken mobile today. He does a good job with all the paints that I run. So shout out to Kinsley and KS Designs, and shout out to you guys in the booth. It'll be eventful going back and rewatching this one, but knowing that I ended up finishing P3, I'll be able to watch it a little easier.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely always coming home top 5 in any sort of broadcast is absolutely worth going back. But also, it's good if you go back and review, even if you crash, just so you can get a good sense of, well, maybe we saw something that you didn't see. So it's always a learning curve either way. But man, Kirby, congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll see you next week in Texas.
Yeah, appreciate it. And now I know how Ryan Blaney feels when he passes everybody, then has to go to the pits, and his pit crew screws up, and he's got to repass everybody again. So, but yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Congrats.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your third place runner-up, Kirby Wainscott, driver of that number 10 Toyota. Let's go ahead and bring up the number 711 machine of Trevor Fettig. There it goes. Trevor, it's Mike and Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, Trevor, my dude, I am actually lost. Yeah, I'm lost for words for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm happy for you. I know restrictor plates usually don't end very well for you. But man, let me tell you what, when I saw you up here racing for the lead that last lap, I was rooting for you hard. And man, how do you feel finally getting second?
Oh, pretty good. I usually just stick to the back, and that never works out for me. And with the first green flag cycle, I ended up in the top 10 area and was able to stay there all day. I don't know, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, good racing up there. And Trevor, you were also the hardest charger. You came up, I think, about 17 or so positions from where you started. So, once you found yourself up there, You were always in the right spot at the right time. You weren't over competitive. How was it running up there at the front and trying to keep those positions?
It was fun. It was a little challenging. Not used to being up at the front with all these guys that are much better racers than I am. And I I ended up I was the only one that pitted when I did on that last stop, and I thought that was gonna screw me. And then we ended up getting cautions, and I was able to work back up through there.
Yeah, well, all in all, hey, awesome race. Just awesome position that you put yourself in good hard racing. You did it clean, so congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Trevor, is anybody you want to shout out that helped get you to this position today?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to you guys for putting this on. I'll have something fun to go watch for the next 3 hours. And Andrew for doing all that he does, and anybody that pushed me through that race. I'll thank all of them.
All right, awesome job, Trevor. Trevor Fettig, your P2 finisher at the Talladega Super Speedway of our Sunday Premier Series. Congrats, Trevor.
Thank you.
Man, what a incredible run there for Trevor Fettig. But now let's go ahead and bring up the man of the 3 hours, the driver of that number 45 Air Jordan. It's going to be none other than Ryan Warp. Ryan, it's Mike and Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Ryan, man, what an incredible run for you. You started on the pole. Stayed up front for a majority of the race. I know you got back in the field due to pit stops and everything. They didn't really go the way you needed them to. But, well, you're back up front where it counts the most. Walk us through your day and what was it like on that final caution?
Yeah, I don't know. It was, I don't know. We was tamed for a while, and we were just saving fuel, and we were coming down to the end there. Um, trying to make one more stop to get to the end, and I think we could have made it. And then after that last pit stop under green, I think I was going to be a lap or two short because we didn't have a pack with us, me and Blake, and then that caution came out at the end, and I don't know, like I don't even know what happened the last lap. I don't even remember any of it. My eyes may have been closed. I don't even know. It was all hell broke loose, and I came across the line first.
Yeah, definitely. I got to say, on that last lap, I mean, I think the key was you were one of the only cars up front to really keep your car straight. So you saved your momentum. All the other cars kind of turned a little bit, got sideways. I mean, you had the momentum, and then you went sideways at the right time across the line. So that was really fun to watch.
Yeah, when everything was getting kind of separated and crazy, and when Blake crashed, Trevor he came up behind me and gave me a shot in the back, and that kind of I think just pushed me right through everything. And I saw Kirby down on the apron, and I kind of wanted to keep him down there, but I didn't want to get wrecked, so I gave him a little bit of room, and yeah, we kind of made a little contact, and I didn't even know when I was spinning, I didn't even know I won. I had to look at the relative, and oh, I had a one next to my name.
It's always good. Yeah, well, awesome job today. And I don't want to say I called it, but I said about halfway through the race to watch out for that number 45 because you were always up front in a good position and you weren't over aggressive. And that's usually a really good formula to win these super speedway races that are full length. So just awesome job staying with it and sticking to your game there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I try not to be too aggressive. I don't like pushing people too much because I'm always afraid I'm gonna wreck them. But sometimes you have to. And like lap 4, I got into David Davis, and I didn't think I even hit him that like even bumped him, and then it just shipped him to the inside infield or whatever. Felt bad about that, but I don't know. It all worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick. Yeah, there was quite a few bumps. Not just with you, but other people as well. It really upset a lot of the cars today, and unfortunately, even back on that first lap or second lap, we saw a victim of that as well. So those bumps out there, they were pretty easy bumps, but man, these cars just reacted a little differently today.
Yeah, it seemed like sometimes you could like really hit someone hard and like it didn't upset you, but other times it's like you didn't hit them very hard and you see them getting all squirrely. So
Yep.
I don't know what to do with that was.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon, do you got anything else for our race winner today?
I don't. Just congrats on the P1 finish. I mean, awesome job out there. Ryan, do you have anybody you want to shout out that helped you get to this winner circle today?
Shout out to Blake Beacon. We're teammates and buddies, and he decided to run this morning and see what we could do. And yeah, it helped. Thanks to Trevor for giving me that bump at the end. That pushed me through everyone. And thank you guys for broadcasting and Christian on race control. Christian did really good. He was very informative. I never had a race control that talked to us that much.
Yeah, he was good. I heard him. Definitely informative and really clear.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So that's about it.
Alrighty, well, Ryan, congratulations, buddy, on your race win here today, and we'll see you next week when we head to the 1.5 mile of Texas Motor Speedway.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner driver of that number 45 Air Jordan Toyota, Ryan Warp. Brandon, man, what an incredible race we saw today. A full 500-mile race, just under 3.5 hours long. But man, what are you feeling? How did you enjoy the race? And what's your final thoughts before we roll out of here today?
Man, I'm thinking that last lap delivered. It did not disappoint.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just over the top of a Talladega finish and then some. So awesome to see these drivers really turn it on and not give up anything when it mattered most to put on an excellent finish, an exciting one.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing that Racers Elite does, week in and week out. It's not just here at Super Speedways, but, they get through the race and they're like, okay, now it's time to go. And then that's when everything picks up. You see a lot more side-by-side action. And you guys, if you guys don't watch anything else with Racers Elite, you come back and watch, during the week. We got amazing racing, really great side-by-side action. And, man, next week, I can't wait to do it all over in Texas.
Yeah, Texas is always an exciting one. I feel like the momentum will carry over from this race. And, Texas, they call it, it could be nicknamed the one-turn track because it all boils down to turn 1 and 2 and how you approach that and how you stay tire there. So that'll be an exciting one to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely going to be very exciting. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us right here on the Racers Elite Network. On behalf of everybody here at Racers Elite, I'm Mike Taylor. Alongside me, my good friend Brandon Sanfilippo. And Andrew, thank you so much for giving us a place to do this and call these fantastic, amazing races. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see you back on track, bud. And again, congratulations to Ryan Warp. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do in life, have fun doing it. If it's not fun, go and make it fun. Because life is just too short. So, but until then, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys all next time right here on the Racers Elite Network. Have a fantastic time zone.
Here
door
comes
right
the
there.
run. With a head of steam moving to the outside is Jim. And he says it can't be done.